But man, is it great. No. Colin. No.
I'm sorry.
Why is... Yeah. I should give up GMing. That's what I've learned in my time.
I thought you had. How else do you explain this evening?
It's just standard. It's becoming standardized that we just talk in an RP group more than RP. Start of session 37. I've typed it. It's real. Welcome to the invasion session 37. I am Ryan, the GM, so I keep telling myself it is the 27th of January 2021. Yes, it's later than normal, but you wouldn't have known that unless I said that. Here are the players.
Hi everyone, my name is Gregor. I play Adair. He is an air genasi who now sees himself very much as the leader of the group, and yeah, can.
How do you feel about hard G genasis? You know, genasis. How do you feel about them?
Genasi.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
It's not right. I mean, as a genasi, I believe that genasi is wrong.
Is this how there's no more genasi or genasi because they had the great schism way back when?
Civil war because of how you pronounce their species.
It's a soft G. It's a hard G.
And the gnomes were just there going like, "What's the issue, guys?"
Yeah, the gnomes.
Yeah.
I think the Chud might have something to say about it as well.
What was that? Sorry, I missed that.
Chud might have something to say.
Yes, the gith or the jith. Yeah. Ugh.
They're chuds. They're only chuds.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, I guess the only thing I have to say here is Jude hello, I guess.
You Jess.
Oh, Dylan is your intro, by the way.
My name's Dylan. I'm playing Zarxus the droidic. I mean, changeling. And,
Roger.
Who's currently in the form of a tiefling.
Roger.
A droidic, a tiefling.
Good evening, my name is Alexander, and tonight I will still be playing Rebite the Skaven. I forgot what I usually say. And he's still pretty terrible at everything, and apparently Alexander's just getting worse at everything too. Yay.
Sorry. Zanga Mabuki.
I'm forced into that as well because my audio isn't picking up all the time.
Oh,
Hello, I am Colin. I will be playing Vanger. He is a dwarven priesty man dude guy, druid cleric person.
Baba Hassan is all I'm gonna say.
Basil, I reckon.
I feel like at this point we should just end the session making Star Wars characters.
You mean during the session, making Star Wars characters?
In character, yeah.
So yeah, in character, he's going to play an RP about Star Wars. You'll play it in the Withered Spoon, right?
We all know the soundtrack that plays in there.
Yep, it's that really famous genre of music that none of us need to say. Oh dear. Also, my hair is so fluffy. I had a bath earlier today, and the volume is uncontrollable, sadly, so it's annoying the hell out of me. Oh, the joys. Tell me, what do you remember from last time? Besides the plots of various Star Wars inconsistencies.
Let's see.
Sorry, movies, that's what they're called.
Yeah, so Ray was terrible.
Don't blow up the chat just
sorry.
yet. Also, I like Ray. How dare you?
What? I don't mind Ray.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think she
was used badly, but really cool idea. Yeah? Like,
No.
yeah, movie one Ray, peak Ray.
So in our game though, last week, Cantor's back.
Yay!
Yay, Cantor!
Warren Canty. Oh dear.
That
Have you met Dylan?
I don't even remember what that's from.
It was just I can't remember. It was something to do with you saying something in reply to Alexander. Alexander seemingly shocked about that, and then me saying, "Have you met Dylan?" That was it.
It was Gregor.
Was it? Really? I thought it was you. Oh well.
No, I just found it really funny.
Anyway, carry on. Last week. Besides, have you met Dylan?
I found a fire. Oh yeah, we were stuck in that room and we could
Nobody could
we
make
were
a fire.
in that
Yeah,
room
you nearly
for-
froze to death.
Oh my god, yeah. That was amazing. We are so skilled adventurers.
Remember when I said you can just light a fire unless you want to really roll for it? And you were like, oh yeah, I want to roll for it. I'm like, why? Why did we ever want to roll for it? It was a terrible
I
idea.
believe that was a certain little dwarven character that wanted to do that.
Mhm.
No, it was Colin.
True
It
truths.
was very much just me. I just thought, oh fuck it, let's roll for something.
It's because it's so novel. Because Monday we barely roll.
We're not rollers.
No.
To see me roll and
Yeah. And believe hating
Yeah.
and suffering leads to the dark side.
Yeah.
So let's just segue into as many Star Wars references as possible. So yeah. Anything else happened last time?
remember
Yep.
that
There we go.
Fleabite had a good chat with Falcon. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was really fun actually for me. Mostly because Falcon's fun to RP.
Had a fun chat with Tony.
You did indeed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
Anything more you want to say about that?
It was fun. Fun.
So,
My life was threatened.
I mean, yeah. Like there was no
I
way
mean,
to
yeah.
like just yeah.
There was no way to spin it. It was
Yep.
just threatened.
it was. That was true.
I still get along famously with him.
Good.
I might get invited to his wedding.
Yeah, you might be playing it. It's going.
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
See what's going on the street.
I might play our part in his wedding.
Uh-huh.
Star Wars.
Here comes the bride. Ah, Xerxes.
Yeah,
Xerxes.
to the
was
Imperial
that.
March. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah. Anything else of note happen?
We're deciding whether or not to help
Warren Canty.
Warren
Mhm.
Canty, yes.
You approached us with a proposition.
Indeed, he did. Excitedly so.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that is pretty much everything I think that happened last time. To be honest,
I just clocked the
have you
massive
just
Star Wars.
yeah?
I'm looking through my notes and then I look up and I'm like, whoa.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I'll put it away. There we go.
Are we on Disney Plus now?
No, I was just explaining why there was a communications interruption, which obviously means only one thing.
Invasion.
It means the invasion. Or you just didn't pay your lecky bill, whatever. So based on that, let's have a look at what goals are in place for this week. So, what are they, folks? What's your general goals? Talk me through them.
Right.
Hmm.
General goals. So, Thicke Opera.
No, that's your plan, the Thaki Opera, but it's Optera.
Yeah. I still love this one.
Okay, focus. Yep.
So we have that.
What's that? I didn't hear any of it. Sorry.
I didn't. Oh, sorry, my mic must have.
Oh
Got
yeah, must have.
jammed.
Well, let's just have it again. Don't worry.
Yeah. So there, that and a box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got that. Attempt to
Does
recover.
anybody actually want to read it out though
Thicke.
for the people actually listening, which may have an attempt to follow our plot?
Colin, you're up.
Okay. So, there's a man who we know from previous adventures. His name is currently Warren Canty. His name is actually Cantor Belem. He has entered the inn to propose to us that we might help him in the recapture of his sister for purposes of avoiding bad wedding to a man
We're
who
talking
is
Yeah, like so. Yeah, we just want to
was
review
it
the goals.
balls?
Goals.
Goals. That was one of them. Anyway. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, I got completely confused here. Wait, what goal specifically?
Close the tabs
Opera,
about
so-
Godzilla's
Yeah, that is
size.
the one. I don't have a tab open.
between Thaki,
I'm-
Lastris, and Lord Tanan, and how
Yeah.
they-
Okay.
Sadly, you've been
Box.
talked over, Alex. So nobody got that. None of that came
I
through.
heard it. Backing up to yeah. So the box, which presumably is still in the cave, is clearly connected to Optera through the person who was in the cave, who claimed to be one of them, has some weird shit that indicates it maybe he was because of the curse, which connects it in turn to Calastris because of the curse and because of their rivalry with the Nans, who are presumably the owners of the box, if it is indeed the correct box. And Thaki have something to do with it because they have inherited the properties of Terra, and also the libraries among them. And there were a bunch of books there. So you think like, that's further evidence that maybe there is a connection. Anyway, that box is presumably still there, and we think it may be the box containing the wedding gift and/or other things. Who knows? Something sinister, perhaps, or
Mm.
Anyway, the second one is also related because it's just try to get that box out of the cave.
Mhm.
Thirdly, we have the one that I was initially saying because
Mhm.
my brain doesn't work, which was rescue. I'm going to capitalize that. Sorry, Sarah, if she wants, because we don't know for certain if Mr. Cantor Belem's sister actually wants to be saved. Fourthly, find out what the package was. Well, obviously, if we are recovering it, it kind of is secondary to that. We're not likely to find out if we don't recover it. But if we do recover it, we may wish to, and I think we should find out what exactly the hell it is we recovered. And lastly, fifthly, enlisted your Eric to help in Barris quest. Again, coming after those which are more pressing. Ucher has some experience in speaking out Barris and nothing better to do, so he might
Mhm.
be inclined to assist us.
Oh no. Right, personal goals. Tell us yours, Adair.
Convince lady is no. Is Zathith? I can never say this, man.
Is it this?
Is Obsith Thaki to help with the rescue Sarah? Rescue
that
Ulster.
in the unit.
I pray she never asks Adair what her name is.
At least
You will probably have
vows.
to say your name at some
At least
point.
wedding vows, you say I, Adair, as opposed to
Lady to be thy lawful whip. Yeah, I'm sure Adair can pull that off, like roll a decent deception. He's a rogue.
Azazith is a hard name to say, to be fair. Obese is not.
No.
Yeah, I said obis. Yeah, okay, I said it wrong, but
It's
still.
okay. Xarxis?
Get back at Lord Tonin.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Fleabite?
I mean, I kind of read
Nice and easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd read it as deface Lord Tonan, so you're literally one to skin him.
Yes, that's the plan.
Fleabite?
And Fleabite is trying to make a little unique signature poison that's in his livers.
So long as the label doesn't actually have potion/poison on the label. Because that's vague. Right? And it's like, have this. What is it? Is it potion or poison? Yes, Fleabite made it. Venger?
Anger. Learn more about the giant bats, when did they appear? Always big and aggro, connected to Upterra line. So in essence, yeah, like, it would continue to explore that connection, the Bat Cave and the angry large bats and the potentially bat cursed bat nobles.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, and other such phrases. Why is there a goal so far down the completed list that there's so many gaps between it? Did somebody just randomly delete a bunch of goals? Or is it just that Volter decided to paste his really far down?
You probably just did it straight adjacent to where it is.
Ah, just gonna fix that. There we go. Strange. Another one is missing. Why? Let's fix that. There we go. Sorted. Same with this, the gaps. Why? Why do people do this? So many gaps. Anyway, right. So those are our goals that are in place. Obviously, I guess we open up at the table scene, right? Since that's probably where you still are with Warren Canty after his proposition.
Warren, welcome back. How has your time in Evershed been? Are you doing okay?
Help me mess up the wedding. How's it going, friend? Long time.
Yeah, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope.
Yep. Help me, Warren Canty. You're my only hope. Beep boop beep. Yep.
Roger.
So what was the last thing Canty says?
Well, he's about to say, yes, sorry, my friends. I've been busy with my time in Evershade, as you can imagine. And he kind of like just gives you a knowing look. And then he says, I hope you are all well. You seem to be in good spirits, as he looks around the table.
Please join. And I offer him a chair.
He's already sat down. He's
Yeah. Oh yeah, so yeah.
Sat on the table.
He's already revealed his whole let's go break into a noble's house part
Yeah.
like plan, so he's
is.
at the table.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Sorry. Catch up.
I love that he just
Right.
steps into the Emerald Inn and just screams from the lobby into the lounge. Ah! You lot! Is he trustworthy? The red one! The undercover mission's going well! But anyway, so at the table.
So, have you found your sister?
Kind of like, he looks at you puzzled. And he
Um,
looks over at like, Vanger and Fleabite. And then looks back at, you there and goes, she's at the Tonan estate. Did I not?
But
Did I not
seen.
do this? Where else would she be? Do you have conflicting information? He looks a bit like worried now.
Will, and Adair sort of looks towards Wagner like, the box? He mutters under his breath. Or the package?
don't know if any. Actually,
He looks like he's going paler, right? Warren looks a lot paler because, yeah.
Please,
You
do
look-
not fret.
What's this box you mentioned? And he's like quite, what do you mean by that?
When, how do I say? When we arrive first in the Evershades, we get a audience with the Lord Tonant, and
He leans back when you say that.
In what kind of manner? Like nervous or?
In a, kind of way.
And he is employing us to find a package for his wedding. One that was taken from him.
And what's the nature of this box then? Have you discovered what it is? Who has it? Like what?
Yet, we are working a lot on theories. We have gone down a lot of history of the Evershides, but we have not yet found this box. And Will, we
You
were
think this
maybe.
may be my sister?
Well, you did say she was taking against Will. So if you're transporting someone against Will, sometimes you put them in a box.
Why would his sister be in a box?
It's a big box.
And he looks.
What?
He just looks between everybody and looks like him like Xarxus, and he looks like he's been given the worst news, right? Like,
It's
hmm.
let me be clear that we don't actually have any reason to believe that she is.
Nah, we do not.
Why would
I'm
she
more
be Lord Tonan's gift? Who is this woman?
He looks at you again, and he says, "She's my sister." And he kind of like he looks at everyone else as if to say, "Should I continue like telling him more, or are we good here?"
Nah, and please, Xerxes, he is of noble. His family
says,
were
he's
from
like-
it.
He looks around the fairly empty lounge.
Xerxes raises his eyebrows and is like, oh? I've never heard of the Canties.
He says, "Exactly why I'm using that name while here."
I try rolling intelligence or something to put two and two together.
I think it's just insight, actually. It's not intelligence.
Insight.
It's, yeah. You wanting to roll in the game. That's your first strike, by the way.
Nice roll.
Yeah. Basically, he is a noble that clearly isn't using like the name Canty's a fake name. Warren Canty clearly doesn't exist. It's clearly a pseudonym.
But like, can I put two and two together of his like who his sister is? Because I know about.
If you know who the sister is, like, currently, can you name the sister?
Arabellum.
Yes.
I have it in my notes that she was being brought over to keep power.
Yeah. So, yeah, you would know the noble house then, right? He would be Lord Balem.
And then I would, so with my eyebrows still up from this earlier surprise, just be like, oh. Wink.
And then he goes,
nice to meet you.
And he kind of nods, and he like goes, yes, Warren Canty. And as he says with like a kind of, just a flat smile, it's serving its purpose for my time here. And the Balem House they were here originally when the king still lived here, right? Like however many narrative years ago that was, before the seat of power was moved to Torque. So that's like very old nobility. Would be the Balem House. Not necessarily powerful or anything, but they moved with, like, because a lot of the nobles moved to the new place when they founded Torque moons ago. And the ones that stayed behind were the ones that obviously started being like, well, what if we just ruled ourselves? So yeah,
that's the Tonans game powerful.
Yeah, exactly. Because they were the most influential, so they got the top job. So they're kind like the house kind of acts, I guess, like a bit like a regent for the throne, but they're also not that at all because they do what they want. And by the time the royalty turn up and go, "What are you up to?" and they go, "Everything you asked us to do, of course."
Because nothing ever bad happens to the regents.
No,
never.
It's probably the wrong term, but it's close enough. People get what I mean by context. Yeah. So he looks at you, Xerxes, and he goes, "Do you have any ideas as to what is transpiring in Evershade?" He's saying that like he's trying to suss out who you are and what do you do.
You mean about the wedding?
Sure.
I know a bit.
Please, I would be most in your debt for anything that can assist me.
That Lord Tonin is planning on marrying Sarah Bellum to keep power.
He goes, "This I knew."
I guess I'm confused as to what else you're asking.
And he kind of goes, he puts a hand on your shoulder and just kind of like grips it briefly, and then like tilts his body back to the Vanger and Adair and Fleabite, who I just assume's like a child sitting in between the two of them, and looking on the table, and he says, "So, as to my proposition, can I count on your help once more?"
Oh, da, of course you can.
What exactly do you plan? Have a little bit more
Conte.
detail.
He kind of like chuckles and goes, "Is it safe to talk here, or can we go somewhere else?"
Please come to room.
Kind of nods, and then so does everybody head up to Adair's room?
Yeah.
Cool.
Or
Mhm.
not.
Is that is there any
Yeah.
any reason there, Fleabite?
No, I was saying that it's Adair and Fleabite's room.
I mean, yeah, but that's also just because Fleabite just followed him in. I think Fleabite does still have a room that Banger paid for.
No, I don't think so. I think they only paid for the two rooms.
No, I think you paid for 3. Yep, and you just
I was
followed
gonna-
him
I don't
in.
remember sharing with Fleabite.
I know he did. He definitely did.
Okay.
But I do remember that there were rooms paid for, but Fleabite wasn't listening to that, and obviously went into your room. I mean, we can go back and look on recordings. That's a job for people with issues that need to find that out. Yeah, you know.
Fleabite, enjoy.
So yeah, but I mean, Fleabite can make that noise if he wishes, because he does believe it's his room, along with Adair, I guess. But yeah, Fleabite, there is an empty room that was paid for, and as you all start to like walk up the stairs, you just hear cough. You know, clearly somebody's trying to get your attention. Adair.
Madame Emerald?
She jingles her bangles and fixes like the hair over her ear, and then she just puts the hand on her hip so she looks a bit like a lopsided teapot. And she says, "Well, what's all this?"
Sorry, there is something in the room that we must be discussing and showing our comrade here. I do apologize. You do not want us to have this conversation in your lounge.
And she kind of like narrows her eyes. She goes, "I don't like weirdness." She like
Oh,
points
no.
at you with like a quill, and then she says, "This one's weird enough, but he's kind of cute." She like gestures to Fleabite.
I thought that was going to Xarxus something.
So did Fleabite probably. Never probably didn't register it was aimed at him. And he seems to have kept the other rats away anyway. So I don't mind putting up with him, but this lot, I'm counting who goes in and who goes out.
Oh, please, by all means. We are not trying to swindle you. We are.
Well, what am I sending up to the room then? Give me your order. And she like, licks the tip of the quill. And then gets a bit of parchment out. Yeah, but she also likes selling things. So
Of course. Talking among comrades is thirsty work. Perhaps, what? And I look back to the others. The 2 jugs of the what?
Finest one.
what was that, sorry?
Finest one.
The finest wine. Okay, so that's 10 gold, that's an easy one to remember.
I mean, Xarxes, please, if you're wishing this, then by all means, pass me the coin for the lady. And I'll put Adair puts his hand out for the coin.
Madame Emerald just smiles and puts her hand out just behind Adair, just waiting for him to
to pass it over.
Yep. So
It just looks defeated. Just
mhm, mhm.
hands over 7 gold.
Okay.
Is how much, my lady?
Are you asking that to
Emerald, yeah.
so
Like how much for the
well, obviously he's saying finest wine, so she's expecting 10 gold for a bottle of fine wine. But if you're saying jug, she goes, I'm a bit confused as to what you're ordering here.
Oh no, my comrade, he is asking for the fine wine and he is giving you this, and I'll give her the coin. And I'm just nodding and smiling.
She looks at it and she goes, this is a wee bit light. She just like
And I just
sits the coin pile down, in front of the counter, and she goes, "Look, it doesn't even." She like picks up the coins and taps them 3 times in the stack of 7. It doesn't even tap. And just starts like
And
drumming her fingers on the top, going, "Hmm."
Adair's just kind of opening his arms like, Xerxes?
Worst employee benefits. Throw over the last.
You've got a free room. You have a free room here.
free room that I have to work for.
What work? You work for her more.
What?
No, that's what he means. He's having to work for her more than
Yeah.
he's working for you, and you're the one paying him. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you shouldn't be complaining. You're still making money. And you think you still owe her like at least I think maybe still 2 nights actually. No, 1 night. You owe her 1 night.
Yeah,
I-
1 more night.
You know what? During this time of deliberation, I'll sort of lean probably like under Adair's arm or something and pass her a further 3 gold.
Mhm.
Oh, I already paid.
Say-
I have to do that.
Oh, no, you
Unless
did.
you're-
Okay, that's cool.
I don't think any of that was voiced. That was even
Alright.
made a word
I-
to
Sorry,
me.
I hadn't heard you.
Same.
Not
I said something along the lines that I threw money at her.
All right.
Threw the coin.
I don't know. I feel like if you're throwing money at her and then Vanger puts 3 coin on the pile, I think she's just going to take the pile and let you walk because she isn't going to stop and pick money up.
Yeah, I will do that then.
Mhm. She smiles at you, Vanger, when you do that, and then she hands you the bottle.
Thank you. I will pass it to somebody else.
And she goes,
and then
"Hold on,
sit
hold
down.
on," and then she like fishes out a bunch of cups in a tray and slides them over. Go on, you spilling it?
Yes, that's of course. Thank you.
You're welcome. Smiles. Yeah.
Oh,
I
then we
will-
head up to the room, I
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah, so
Lead
he's
the way.
heads up to the room and like obviously warns like, "This place has charm." Awkwardly.
It sure does. It sure does. You should see the entertainment.
Oh really?
Mhm.
And then he just kind of like, he looks like he doesn't know if it's a joke or if it's like continuing on the the flippant comment he made, or he just kind of like expected there was more to that sentence, and he goes, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
He doesn't get it. But yeah, he's head into the room. You can, put the "Do Not Disturb" plaque on the outside.
Yes. Because every place has that.
Yeah.
But once inside, and once we're all inside with the drink,
Mhm.
pour a couple of beverages, give it out, and especially to Cantor. And Adair's first question would literally be like, "Have you seen your sister?"
And he looks and he goes, "Not since my arrival in Evershade, no."
So why are you thinking she is in the estate?
I would know if she wasn't. I mean, it kind of gives you like a look, like, like someone that's just told you as if something's completely true despite having 0 evidence. Yeah, like, he just has that kind of like confidence about him.
How do you propose we go about? Takes a sip. About getting her out then.
And kind of like
You must have a plan.
he looks like he takes a sip as well. While I was obviously listening to you guys. He takes a sip and he goes, "This is nice." Like, and looks around the room as if taking in like the good quality of the room. Goes, "These are doing quite well for yourselves, I see here."
We have not fallen on the worst of times, but we are having good times.
And he kind of just nods, like slowly taking in the room, and then the corner flea bite's obviously taken up. And then he kind of just looks back at the group and says, "I was hoping you could help with some of the finer details of the plan. You are somewhat skilled in areas I am not. But my plan is to find a way in while the staff are taken in for the wedding preparations. As I said, a lot of the staff are arriving this evening, and I can't think of a better time to enter when there's a lot of activity and distraction happening."
You
Did
look
slip
new
in,
faces.
or-
And he looks between the two of you.
Sorry. Like,
Adair.
Well, so when there is a lot of new faces, your plan is to slip in unnoticed as one of the staff.
That could be a plan. My other option would be they go in the front door, I go in the back door, and just make it to my sister, and then we leave before the staff have settled in, shall we say. There will be a lot of activity happening.
I'm inclined to think that they won't make it that simple for you.
He laughs. He kind of like does that kind of laugh of he guessed this. This maybe brings me to as to why I'm here though, right? And he kind of just looks at. He's almost sorry that he's here. And he's like, if I could have managed this myself, I would have stormed the estate single-handedly. But alas, I am but one person. And he kind of just looks into the cup and then just like chugs a bit of it.
So tell me, your time here in the Evershides has been, was it 4 days?
Yeah.
Since you arrived?
Yep.
Bloody hell, it's
On
only
the
4 days.
fourth day.
Yeah.
So, in these 4 days, what have you managed to be doing? If you are thinking your sister is in the estate, it's been 4 days. Have you tried to get in?
No, I have been doing what I can to observe the comings and goings of the estate, and I have been trying to find any form of old map work of the construction of the estate.
Well,
Hmm.
now.
He kind of like nods just around the room, like almost like he's telling you that I've done all this, but I've got this far where I've came to ask you guys for help, right? Like that's you're definitely getting that tone from the guy where he's like he's here to ask, he's not here to like
Mhm.
and
Provide.
yeah, he's not here to demand. He's here to ask. He's definitely been like, I know you probably don't want to do this, and you don't need to, but I'm here, and please.
I think I may have an idea of where you might be able to find that.
Anything.
Yeah.
The library.
He laughs and he says, I have been to.
I don't mean I don't mean just going in and asking. I suspect there's a great deal that wouldn't be shown to most visitors, but there are records of the former houses.
He kind of like looks a wee bit embarrassed, right? When you're saying that, he kind of like rubs a hand through the back of his hair, is almost.
Or did you have the same idea?
And he's like, I'm a little remiss to say, but I was somewhat not proper in my approach to how I acquired the information that I have. And he kind of looks very embarrassed by this.
You are saying that you acquired this map via otherwise.
He laughs and he goes, a very fine way to put it, and then he kind of like motions to whoever has the bottle for a little top up.
Please, sir, do you have these maps, these plans on you?
I have since returned them to the library so as to not arouse too much suspicion of my presence here. I have made rudimentary copies. I figured this was prudent, and I think I'm on good enough terms with the librarian that I could get us back in, if need be, without too much suspicion raised.
What do you mean, good terms?
And he goes, and he looks embarrassed again and does that thing where he like starts like fidgeting, like his cloak that's over his shoulder, and he's like,
Adair fidgeties forward in his chair, kind of like, what?
Oh, Zarxus is so intrigued. Zarxus is full on looking forward.
And then Warren's like,
Humans to be in.
yeah, right. And he's like, as I said, I was rather forward in my courtly duties, shall we say, with the librarian.
Zarxus looks to Adair.
Sir, please, you did not do anything not of a noble to the lady.
And he looks awkward as fuck, right? And he just goes, and he takes a big sip of the wine, and then he says, "No, that would be improper, and distracting." He kind of just says, almost as if trying to convince himself he did the right thing. And then he says, "But anyway, the
What's only us hanging?
I think this is all quite aside to the point.
I agreed,
Yes.
Master Dwarf. Yes, the
What? Yeah.
I personally feel like I would not be willing to put myself in contract with someone if I didn't know their true character.
What's the lady?
And then he turns to you, Xarxus, and he says, "I quite agree, sir." And he kind of pauses a little because he realizes he doesn't necessarily know your name. He knows you of Xarxus, but he's a formal guy. And he says, "Sir, however, the character I hope to uphold, I would never put in jeopardy with a lady." And he kind of says that as his defense screen, if you will, verbally.
Sir, the lady Techie, you are a gentleman with. You are not being how do say you are not trying to push yourself on the lady.
Not at all. No, I would never even. He kind of looks awkward as hell, stands a bit and then sits back down again and just looks around and goes, "No, I was very polite. I merely implied that I may be willing to go further. That was all. That was very improper. False courting is frowned upon in Torque."
Does Adair believe this?
Roll insight.
Insight.
Yeah, and do it at disadvantage because of your obviously preconceptions.
Am I doing it with disadvantage?
Yeah, because let's face it, you clearly have a lot of opinions about this guy already.
Here come 2 natural ones.
Maybe 2 20s, buddy. Look at that! Look at that!
Oh my!
No, you get the impression that he holds his status quite high, right? The fact that he's a noble, he thinks there's a way to act, and he's been relatively knightly since you've met him.
That's true.
So the idea of him even pretending to be interested in someone to get something, even if he wasn't going to follow, probably does hurt him, right? He does seem like a decent guy that way. So this has been awkward as hell for him. Because I think you're realizing maybe with that role that it's awkward because it feels like he's making himself out to be a dick, not someone who is trying to, have his way with anyone. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like that. If he actually wanted to, say, follow up on a proper courting of the Thaki house with the Belem house, then he would go about it wholeheartedly. But obviously this is to get his sister back, so that's probably why he feels like shit.
Right. I got you. Cool.
There you go.
We're probably not helping.
What was that? Sorry, Dylan?
We're probably not helping.
No. Yeah, seriously, there.
Well, upon realizing that Adair is a lot, he sits back in his chair a wee bit more
it's good. I mean, not good. You know what I mean? Yeah, good for me, good, bad for you. Yeah.
Just okay. Hey, relax. I still have a date with the lady Techie, and she's not cheating on me already. Ooh.
Are you saying
that? Good on you. Lifts up his cup.
You're courting the lady?
Oh no, Adair doesn't actually say that.
Okay, right. Sorry, I thought you were saying.
No. I mean, it would be funny if Adair said that. But...
Yeah, I would just say what I was going to say anyway, actually, because it still works. Now, if we could all move on from the Lady Thaki's business onto more pressing matters.
That. Please.
Oh, and he kind of looks and goes, "You know of her?" As if.
So you never said her name.
We've certainly.
Well, Lady Thaki's business is it looks over at Adair. Some of our business as well.
I'm acquainted with the lady.
And he goes, "Oh, I see. And is this in keeping with your cause?" And he kind of gives you a look,
Certainly not
I'm
cause.
believing this is in line of cause, but also she is a one particular special lady, and when you are meeting special lady, it's important to pay attention.
I
And raises
understand. And he just nods, and I'm going to roll a d20 to see if he understands. In fact, no, he does have he has a character sheet. Let's actually go find his character sheet in the mess of the organizational system I have here. Where is Cantor Belem? Because he does have skills. So
We okay. I'm actually going to ask before I say this. Should I suggest this to him because he might be able to do it, but we might not
Okay.
be. If we made Lord Torag, Tanan, aware of the possible location of his box, that'd be
Mhm.
pretty close to having found it, right? It
I mean,
would.
that'd be a good way to empty out the villa.
Yeah, well, that's sort of what I was thinking. Get some of the guards away. Maybe he goes to check it out for himself.
you're very good at emptying out
That was
villas,
my
aren't you?
thinking. But if we
I'm quite good at
if we don't want to say that, we might want to hold our partly because if we do tell him that, that probably deprives us of the opportunity to find out what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes and no, because he might bring it back to us and be like, "What is this?" Like if it's not what we think.
Can you imagine Von Rune just was in there reading books on that chair and then just killed Tonin for interrupting him?
You don't mind? This is my private reading place.
Get out of my cave!
It's very rude to do that at someone's wedding.
Well, no, you have to keep who has the cave to inherit the cave. That's how it works, you know. And now the curse is Von Rune's.
To be the best, you've got to beat the cave.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think I may suggest that because I think that would be a way that we could maybe lower the difficulty of the quest. A bit.
Yes. It might also though cost you the quest with Tonan though.
That's true, but at the same time, our main quest.
Because the risk is that you send Tonan off in a wild box chase for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But the
yeah.
other side of it is, if he gets it because you said, "Oh, it's in that cave," why didn't you get him it?
We were rescued, or our plan was interfered with by Richter.
You want to tell Tonan that his
No.
wedding guest
Like,
interfered?
No.
No, that's a terrible idea. Why?
Mm.
Okay, how about if we do this,
Excuse
right?
me.
We suggest to him we have found a potential location, but it was extremely dangerous,
Mhm.
and we were lucky to escape with our lives.
Mhm.
Okay.
We show him the maps that we've produced,
Mhm.
indicating that location. And based on that, he goes, not thinking, "Oh, we've definitely found it, but we've left it in a cave. You can go and get it." Right? That takes the aspect of potentially offending him, because it would be admitting that we have found it as you requested, but actually retrieving it is very difficult, and there are only a few of us. Right? Whereas you obviously it's within your great power to so you could maybe phrase it in a way that sort of flatters him and sort of lessens the impact of us failing to get it, like, maybe
So, want to hear another dumb
emphasize the
idea
fact
I came up with as well? And I say another dumb idea because it's usually me that suggests. I'm not saying Colin's idea is dumb. I'm saying usually the ones I suggest are. Xerxes, or the Dylan Character Collective, the DCC.
The Borg.
Can you disguise other people?
Major image.
That just involves a lot of micromanagement, that's all.
I could give away my cloak, but that's
Yeah,
about it.
because if I was in that group, right, playing, Whizbang the Wizard or whatever, we know Tonan is aware of Xerxes and Cass, or Theo. Theo and Cass, both, right? He's seen both, right?
Not Cass.
Right, okay.
But yeah.
So, yeah. Well, if you've had past dealings, he's maybe seen Cass. But yeah. But you could do a Cantor as Theo and just go see Tonan as a group. I'm not saying you should do this, I'm just saying this just came to me based on everything you can do as a group.
in one of
Because
my.
you're saying let's go to him and show him what we've got. You could just take Cantor with you. Then he's in.
okay, I mean,
I,
Yeah.
It's a
I
thought.
Sorry,
just say
Philip.
that if the plan is to sort of divert some of his sort of household guard, there are other less self-incriminating ways of causing a distraction.
Feel free to share.
Fire.
Put Canty in the box.
actually, I was thinking fire as well. Like just start
Yeah.
burning the place.
So
Like,
Dylan, the problem is, what
the-
if you get to the box, right, and you open it up and Cantor's already in it?
What a twist!
What a twist!
Episode
You
9
look
crawl
in the mirror,
starts.
you are
Yeah.
also Cantor.
Sorry, Alexander, what were you saying?
It's just the whole like telling him about where we're at right now is a big risk of, like, as you say, it sort of risks us
Mhm.
automatically sort of revoking that quest.
Mhm.
When ultimately, if our goal is to just make it easier to sort of get ourselves into the estate, it feels like there are less potentially damaging ways
Okay.
that are less damaging to our quests and interests.
I understood that from the first time you said it, but what are those ways, is what I asked.
So basically, as I was saying, causing a distraction of, say, a little bit of arson through the city, a little bit of
Is this Mambo number 5?
Yeah.
Is this where we're going?
I think I thought of the best thing. Send message to
Skywrite, yeah.
Lady Conan, and let her know that her precious Fleabite has been seen in the city, and she'll send out all the guard to go get him.
Just send them after. Oh my goodness, I could be Fleabite.
I mean, yeah, 2 Fleabites.
It's just that scene at the start of X-Men 2. Multiple subjects. It's just Nightcrawler teleporting around, yeah. Okay, so what's said in the moment then? Because obviously Cantor said what he said. There was the awkwardness about Lady Thacke's romantic obligations, and now we're in the place of what do we actually say in character as a plan? Because these were all good things to say out character.
I would suggest that we may be able to use the box to create a distraction
Mm-hmm.
if the
But-
suspected location proves correct.
But there's how do I say it?
You could say there's like a spot for a dead drop because we wanted to make sure that the box was what's the right word here? Secretive. Like we didn't want to, just carry a box into his estate. We
Yeah.
wanted to leave it in somewhere safe, and then he has to go get it. Right?
Would we tell him the cave, or would we make up a location?
The cave that's days away. Yeah, we just left it there. We thought it would be a good spot for you.
Yeah, we're there as well. We'll get him there. It's a dead drop.
It's just the end game of that really concerns me. That
Yeah.
if it is there, then we've lost that sort of quest, and if it's not there, then we've probably lost that quest because he thinks something is up.
Yeah.
There's kind of no good win
I
from
don't care about this.
the
the
success
Also,
of
that
the
cave
quest.
might be full of wolves.
Oh, so we'll just
I
get
don't
rid
know
of our
that.
enemy. Perfect.
I don't know that. Don't think anyone but
No,
Fleabite knows
yeah,
that.
only Fleabite knows that, but it also might be full of wolves.
But that's funny.
Half of
like
them
it.
sleeping over the box and stuff like that. Yep.
Here is another out of character suggestion because Vanguard does not know this. Why don't you get your wolves to do something for us here? Why don't you use the wolves?
I like the phrase "your
Go,
wolves."
go use your wolf buddy powers to cash in 1 wolf token to get their assistance. Have the big
inspiration.
one haul back the box, and just a big fucking wolf drops a box on their doorstep, and while they're distracted,
We sneak in with the staff.
Conan runs in the back.
I think there's mileage in the wolf distraction, in maybe in just saying to someone, oh, we saw wolves coming. Not sure that there really is any direct link Fleabite can use.
So Fleabite knows that Hugh Jackman helped him escape through some kind of almost a bondage brotherhood that they seem to have regarding your capture.
And Fleabite was there when they're talking about the wolf connection. Like,
Yeah.
I think can safely have put that together. It's just, revealing that.
Because it is basically saying, do I cash in the safety of the wolves?
As far as Fleabite could see, the wolves' main defense was their secrecy. The fact that basically and no one seemed to know they were. And even just mentioning them is tantamount to breaking that secrecy. And that I think fits quite a lot with just, you know, an easy way as a Skaven to hide is if no one knows to look for you there.
Mhm.
So like, that's where I take that from.
Yeah, fair. I think as well, like it's a big risk, right? Because let's face it, if you can in some way be useful to them, or like say something that would make sense that they would get involved in, because arguably they're not exactly going to be fans of Glint if what you can assume and expound upon your experiences with, right? They're probably not fans of Glint. So, helping the Twin Ants is maybe not the best thing as a use of wolves, depending on how much you tell them, of course. But yeah, you are kind of hoping the box you find will have something like property of Tunan on it, though. So, yeah.
Nothing. I mean, the box. I mean, I wasn't there, so I can't really say. Was the box a shipping crate, a fancy box, a blah blah blah?
I was able to show you.
Hmm?
Fleabite did show you exactly
Yeah.
what it looked like.
He casted images, spells. You've seen it. You've seen the box. The box
Oh.
was just like a big, like what was it, a 5 or 6 foot cargo box? Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
But it didn't actually have any emblems or anything stamped on the side.
Not that MD noticed. No, nobody get close enough really to actually like look over it. Sadly, they were maced in the head by a small gnome.
That would stop you noticing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Goddamn gnomes.
Yep, it was his box. So, Cantor looks around and says, "Is there another way you can think to approach this?"
I'm pretty good at disguises.
Well,
And he looks at you and he kind of nods and he goes, "And what is your plan?"
We can disguise our way in. Just simply offering ideas, not actual plans.
Well, we can. Tell me, would anyone in the household actually know you?
He looks himself up and down. And he looks at you and he goes, "I hadn't considered this. However, if they were aware enough of my sister's position in Torque, then
Hmm.
I believe they will know me."
This is good point. Then perhaps I can, or I believe my friend here is saying we can disguise you and to get you into a state. But once in, what is plan? Even with your drawings, how do we know
Also, he does have that big bitchin' scar
where
down his
we
eye,
might?
so
We've got disguise kits and stuff.
I just mean that, like, maybe if you were looking at a list of lords, he'd stand out more than generic list of nobility because of his badass scar, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, we can disguise them. I mean, I've got disguise kit. Xarxus has lots of stuff.
Dark says, "Is a disguise."
Yeah.
It's not even a lie, it's just truth. So yeah, he's kind of like doing that thing where he's nodding, trying to put pieces of a jigsaw together to hopefully come up with a picture that looks decent.
Can we see these copies of maps you make, so as we can possibly figure out based on where we have been versus where we have not been inside of the estate?
He kind of like looks at you, trying to uncover that sentence, and then nods and goes, "We can go to my room. I feel like it would draw attention. However, perhaps it's best I go and fetch them and return. Less movement to notice." And he looks around at the very obvious red, blue, and dwarf and rat visuals running through town.
You mean we might stand out?
I mean to say. Then he finishes his drink. He says, "I shall return briskly.
That.
Thank you, my
Please.
friends." And then he kind of like, hits, a fist up to his shoulder and then just leaves swiftly.
Cool.
Now you can discuss what you are actually going to do without him in the room. Plan.
Well, I would show him down and out the hotel to say.
Okay, so
once
you
he's
follow him out.
left- Yeah, to say just to Madame Emerald, my friend is coming back, and to just let him back up to her room.
Oh, you'll be
And,
needing a second bottle then, eh?
Yep, somehow knew that was going to happen. So, when my comrade returns, can you please give him the bottle? And here is was it 7 gold?
And 3, 7 and 3.
7 and 3. Oh, I do apologize.
She goes,
so
it's
he-
okay. No need to apologise.
So 7 gold and 3 copper. Here you go.
Mm.
Okay, maybe there is a
What's
need to
happened
apologise.
the 3 gold on the floor.
She has since probably had Falcon pick that up. Let's face it.
There
Well-
went to a good cause.
Falcon picked up.
Nobody knows what happened because he's left. So narratively, that was it just despawned after 5 minutes. But I think as you're like fussing with coins, there's like tugs on your jacket, and it's Falcon behind you, like a tray of stuff she's got balanced between like her shoulder, her elbow, and her hand. And
Oh,
she's
careful, mate.
and she goes, "Who was that?" And she like nods her head towards the door.
Oh, this is a friend of ours that we are meeting on way to Evershide.
Okay, he looks fancy.
You notice this of him.
He has a fancy cape.
This he does. Why do you mention? Do I not have fancy robes?
You don't have a fancy cape, no?
And Adair's kind of holding his jacket like, come on, this is fancy.
Do you swish it?
Actually, probably, yeah. When she says fancy robe, he kind of opens it like, well, do I not have the fancy?
Okay. She kind of like nod, like as if noticing maybe
Okay.
you can swish it. Yeah, okay, that's kind of cool. You can swish it. And then she goes,
Yeah.
I don't have a cape, so I guess I'm not fancy. She kind of just nods like resolutely, like she has understood the definitions.
I have a new personal goal.
Adair takes a knee to be at her level because she's
Yeah,
how
yeah.
tall is she?
She's very small.
Yeah.
She's the same height as Fleabag, but she's about 3 foot something, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Adair takes a knee and he will whisper to Falcon because he likes Falcon.
Mhm.
You know, you do not need a cape to look fancy. You are fancy without. Some of us need this to make ourselves stand out, but you do not need this.
And she kind of she thinks about that for a second, like trying to piece together all the sentence, and then she goes, But the cape is swishy.
That is true. It can be fun. So
She kind of nods as if that was the important bit of the sentence. And she goes, also, it's like a blanket that you take with you.
that is true. Many a time I've had to wrap myself up in jacket, and it keeps warm. Okay, there might be more reasons than looking defenses, but do not worry. You are of the good. You will one day have much finer than I.
Oh? Wipes her
Of course
nose
you
on her
shall.
sleeve as she's doing that with her free arm.
Of course you shall. You are good persons. You are doing well. You are working. You know who you are, and you do favors for many peoples. Right?
Well, I delivered your letter.
Da, you did. Oh, speaking of. Adair's gonna like, you did good job of this. I'm happy you did this. Good work.
I thought you were going to pay me more if I delivered it.
Adair just looked blankly for a moment.
'Cause
That's my girl.
I distinctly remember you saying I'll pay you so much now and so much when you've delivered it. Was
Isn't
it
that what Falcon
damn?
said? I don't think that's what Adair said.
No, but
that is literally what Adair says. It's just. He's got that smile on his face of, you wee ever.
Mhm.
And yeah, upon doing that, I think it was 2 silver or gold. I can't remember now.
I mean, if you're asking her, it was definitely gold.
Definitely gold. Yeah,
I think it was
and
5. I think it was like 5 silver. Something you were gonna give her. I think it was that. Was that what?
it was 1 silver to do it, and then upon completion, I think I said 2 more.
We can give you 2,000 now and 15 when we meet order on.
I think that's where I went with that. Yeah. I'll give her 2 silver.
We might have some sort of recording we could consult.
Almost,
no.
almost definitely not.
Ah.
Yeah,
I will.
you can pay her 2
Quick-
silver if you want. That's like
I'll give her 2 silver, as in like a thank you. You did so good in delivering letter to.
she like obviously hands like looks at the money and then can like find somewhere to put the money in like her apron or something that she's wearing, and she looks at you and she says, "How much are capes?"
I am not too sure. I'm thinking this is something that when we have the time, we shall discuss with the Xerxes. Is this sounding okay to you?
Sure. And she like shrugs and as best she can with the.
Well,
with
after
the-
that,
and then it's she goes, I should probably go to the kitchen because these are heavy.
That you are doing so well holding them all this time.
Yeah.
You are strong and you are.
Laying on too thick, too much positivity.
And she
I mean,
goes,
the way I see it, this is Ozark's problem.
and she says, well, before Mr. Xerxes, people would try and take things you had, so I had to be tough.
That.
She kinda
And you
nods.
keep that with you. Always remember where you are coming from.
She looks and goes, no, I'm going to put them down, they're heavy.
That. These two. That.
She goes, okay, mister. And then just like goes to the kitchen area. Yeah.
And Air just kind of stands back up, kind of going, did I just get robbed?
And then I think Madame Emerald looks at her and she goes, you'd be filling her head with nonsense.
She is good. You
Yeah,
be
leave her that
treating-
way.
Da. And you be keeping her good, da?
She looks at you like she doesn't know how to take that comment. And then
You know, do not let how you say, the reefing of the peoples get to her.
she looks you up and down and she goes, I'll have you know I don't allow entry to the Emerald Inn for this riff-raffy. She
Well,
looks
of
at you like
course.
she's totally knowing what you mean.
Oh, da. But when she leaves to go do errands, you keep the reefing away.
She looks at you and she goes, she's going to be safe here so long as, you know. She looks at you, she like looks at the staircase, looks back at you, and says, as long as you don't fill her head full of nonsense.
Da.
Yeah.
And I'm making my way towards the staircase.
Yeah. And she just watches you go, right? Like just, yeah. It goes back to whatever the hell she was doing before that. Counting all of her money. I assume you gave her
Sweet,
10
both of
gold
us.
as well, since you were paying her money at the time and Falcon interrupted you. So I assume you did pay her the 10 gold
I-
for the wine. Yeah, cool.
Uh,
Excellent. So back up in the room. What's the chat? What is the chat without Warren Canty?
we just like take time to OOC chat.
Sure.
And just
Out of
come up
character.
with a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, the original content. Yeah, so I think
Out of control.
I think it's worth noting that he's very confident in his sister's presence, but again, you can't really back that up. So
we
this
have no
thing
proof.
could be very ill-advised.
Hmm.
It is pretty ill-advised to begin with.
I mean, this is the guy that jumped in a boat funded by a cult to get here.
Don't know much about, unfortunately.
We skipped that side quest.
Yes, that storyline was shelved briefly. Yes.
So we've got that uncertainty, and on top of that, again, like some of us are well suited to this sort of skullduggery, and others aren't. And also, two of us are sort of still half dead.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
If I have to do any skill checks, I'm just going to fall over.
I mean, you guys are going to fall over. I just can't do them. I've used my one roll of the night.
Yep.
Uh,
I think we just need to run with disadvantage on all your rolls. That seemed to work.
I mean, it kind of did, but at the same time, let's not do that.
Fair. Hmm.
I mean, when it comes to the, I'm going to call him Connor.
Why?
Conor McGregor, yeah.
Aye, Connor McLeod. Yeah, let's go
Warren?
there. Cantor. Cantor.
Cantor
or-
Balloon. Born Cantor.
I mean, he struck us as a good person, a good fellow.
Yeah.
He truly believes his sister's there.
Mhm.
We do have flea bites escaping there. I've got my was it a nat 20 on the place?
Yep, you've got a nat 20 history roll of like retroactively noticing something useful if you ever wanted to break in. Yep.
Yeah.
It's almost like
So
that was weirdly designed to be important later.
Good. Yeah, we do have a good chance of getting in. Getting out is a different matter. But if we could get rid of some of the guards first,
Mhm.
I think that is a good bet. Like to get back out.
So how to get rid of them?
How do we get rid of?
Yeah.
What is the plan? Operation Arson,
Arson
dog invasion.
not necessarily going to actually get Tonant's guards out.
Right, well,
Because
let's here's something to do. Right, here's an exercise which is good. Right, so why don't we quickly list everything like a small assets list because those are always useful. Let's do that in Discord just now, right? So let's list everything that we have in favor. So, because right, assets list everything that you have available to you guys. So, pack of wolves, everything Xarxes can or the Dylan character collective can do, right? Right, you've got the sway you've got with certain NPCs, right?
Precocious orphan.
I actually just think it's
True.
also just like precocious / precious orphan, really.
I read that as precious first.
But yeah, so list everything you've got, even down to things like obviously Adair and Von Rune are pretty decent terms, even if nobody else is. Obviously, Fleabite is technically, claimed it as Pack Lord as well. There's the Dagobah Cave that nobody ever wants to talk about again.
it's weird how no one mentions that.
Yeah, and return to a
Also,
Cave Wolfenstein.
Cave Loop.
And then we've got obviously, I mean, some of you are in good terms with Charleston, right? As well. Xarxes is well known in town as well now because he's obviously done a bunch of come look at me and play moments. So,
Local celebrity.
Yeah, like Xarxes and Cynthia are obviously pretty tight. Fleabite and Cynthia pretty tight.
Xarxes was invited to do the music, so
Not officially.
I think
And that might have been just a joke.
you could definitely read into that as Toon said, "Cross me, I'll kill you. Be my friend, and it could be lucrative."
yeah.
That was basically what he said to Xarxes without actually committing to anything, other than pretty clearly saying, "If you ever use my name again, I'll, kill you with my own hands."
But Cantor could be your bass player.
That would not be awful.
Yeah.
What we could do is if we could somehow get I could turn into Tonin
Right.
and get the guards to leave. Like we could all just go on to the cave, right? Then you guys could have your fun.
So what, you're just gonna fake Tonin your way with all the cards to the cave?
Yeah, why not?
It's a fun.
Okay, yep, it will be in the pile, right? It is a plan. Right, so let's have them now, right? So, right, if that's our assets, right? Put up your plan, type it up there, right? Plan 1. Go for Dylan in Discord, just pop it in, just so as we can list these out, just so as we can refer to everything visually. Fleabite, do you want to put in your plans as well? Because obviously, mostly I think it involved rat-related arson. And obviously anything that a Fanger can think of that doesn't utilise the nimble acrobatics of a dwarf.
Oh man, all I can find is that for Fleabit's plan.
Close enough. I want to see the baby. I'm going to delete that though, for now, so we can be in planning mode. Goodbye, baby. So, right. Any other plans want to verbally?
I mean, we've
Because his plan sounds like I'm just going to break in, right?
Yeah.
That was the summary of wait for like that, break in. It's obviously just noise because of how much is going on. Hope nobody cares enough.
I think he's going to get himself in a lot of trouble if we let him just do that.
Yeah, I was going to say go in with staff. That would work really well.
we can disguise. I mean, shit, I'm bright blue.
I can go in as Charles.
Fo-
Dare has a date.
I do. I have a date.
Remember there was the talks of you maybe want to try and see if you could get Thaki to help, but obviously I don't know how serious, like nobody really led into that.
I put Lady Thaki as in like she could possibly help.
Right.
You're gonna help.
I mean, how?
Well, what is she?
Lady.
Yes. Of what? Like what is she a lady of?
Of the Thaki house.
Right, which is?
Noble.
Right. Thus, how could that be
Invite-
useful?
To the wedding?
So the wedding's not yet, but the plans for
Yeah.
tonight. So how could she help tonight? How could a noble woman help you break into a noble's house?
Probably get in the front door,
Yeah,
potentially.
potentially. She
Depending
could
on the
get
relationships
lights.
in the families.
Yeah.
You can certainly ask about it.
I mean,
Oh,
why
was
don't you
gonna
why
do-
don't you read into the fact that she has the library? Why does the Thaki house have the Optera property?
Probably because, well, wasn't it explicitly because they were gifted it?
By the Tonans. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the Thaki residents probably are. I don't want to say in league with the Tonans, but close friendship. So I don't know if I've done enough. If her family is close with the Tonans, I don't know if I've got enough sway to get her to betray. You know.
But that's the
Her
problem. You
death.
don't know her allegiance to the Tonans at all. That's it. You don't know like how like where she falls on any of that. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the big risk factor there.
I was going to use the date to figure that kind of stuff out if I could. But we're now faced with this dilemma.
But it's still it's not that she can't help. It's just that you don't know if she would help. Yes.
I have a noble persona
Okay.
that like is seen as a noble
Yeah,
here
but
in town.
do you also hate Lord Tonan and have a terrible relationship with him as this noble persona? Like all your other personas? Or is this the one you'll play different?
I mean, you could just see this as a way to get ahead.
How would
the
you phrase that
nobility.
to the group, though? Like, how would you introduce that fact to the group?
Say something like my corporation has a noble contact.
Oh, really?
Okay, well,
Who very well might be invited to the wedding.
So, could this noble contact help us tonight?
Tonight.
To get into the estate?
Oh, I mean, he could. Did you have an idea of how he would?
It depends what he could do. How
So
powerful is he?
not terribly powerful. He's one
Your
of the
plan
lesser
seems a
known.
lot like Cantor's plan, which was I'm a noble, I'll get her back. And your plan seems to be I could be a noble, Could we help?
Yeah. Essentially, this is more as like a asset, like not a
One.
plan.
Mhm.
If it works with one, then two is surely better.
Yes, double the chance, right?
Double the doubles.
Oh dear. Yep. So yeah, at least that's something that Xerxes has now said to the group, right? So at least that's something that's in the mix, right? He's could have a potential noble ally in addition to Lady Thaki. Yeah. Anything else? I mean, you know somebody that probably doesn't like the nobles that may have been killed in a cave.
Opera. I was thinking about that.
A gift. His corpse. For Bam. Think of it like a wedding gift. Mm.
Me and Xerxes have no idea what Chiro looks like, though, do we?
Yeah,
Um,
you saw a poster of him, and Fleabite made a picture of him. Like, you
Awesome.
have been fully briefed. Yep. We've had holograms, we've had family portraits, we've had family trees.
I could totally go convince him if he's still alive. That is, I could go convince him to join us.
Who up Terra?
We suspect he's in the cave, don't we?
No, you suspect that Von Rune killed him.
But if he's alive,
Mostly because you were all in front of him when Fleabite said, "Did you kill him with your own hand clothing?" And I don't remember his exact reply, but it was probably yes. Because Von Rune is a man of many words. Von Rune's a pretty well-to-do guy. And no one with a mace is unlikely to do much. So, yeah. Von Rune, there we go, as I said, still an ally and asset in some ways to the group. And in a lot of other ways, not.
I was trying to convince him to join. Whatever that would imply.
Where are you though?
What?
Von Rune, I mean.
Wait, no, I said we could always try.
Yeah, you definitely could, right? It just depends on what your angle would be, because obviously he is a guest to the wedding. So it implies that he's on good enough terms that he's willing to sail across the world to get here. You know?
Well, sail ship, air ship.
Sky sailing,
really
yeah.
Does bringing someone in like him actually help rather than hinder our attempts? You can though.
It depends, like, if you've had, so, like, for example, if you've had something to either convince or offer him that was of more value than his allegiance to Tonan, assuming he has a good standing and it isn't just a weird pomp thing that they're here for, like, you know, both of them don't like each other, but it's polite to be there. Obviously, if you had something of that to offer, who knows what he could do. He is a resourceful guy with a ship full of robots and teleporting powers.
But yeah, what can we offer him? And B, it does seem like he has at least a sort of amicable relationship. So I don't see how we can leverage him at the moment.
Yeah,
I think his involvement brings additional scrutiny, which our plans may not live up to.
You're such confident in the party.
Instead of away focus, it would intensify focus.
Intensify forward firepower.
I mean, I could be a rat for an hour and go into the house. Or no, I couldn't. No, I could be a rat.
Yeah.
I just can't be anything with any special properties or certain things.
Oh, yeah.
Good stat blocks. But I could be something small enough to easily sneak in, theoretically. The problem is
small enough to overcome your other shortcomings.
of stealthiness, yeah. Or and it's sufficiently small, potentially even like, can I become like something genuinely tiny, like an insect or that? Is that food form doable?
It's very vague because does it have a stat block?
Yeah, that's a good point. Probably won't. So I think
You'd be surprised what has and hasn't, right? Because you do have tiny creatures, which are vaguely just smaller than small creatures. So yeah, like you could become a tiny creature, right? As long as it doesn't have a swimming or flying speed. I think that's your only limitations at the moment. But
believe so.
I think a lot of the things that have that are like swarms. So.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I don't have that big an issue with like a narrative use of something like that. It's just what can you do in combat with something like that, right? Does it even buy you a hit point? Would be my question. For being something like a non-flying fly, like a beetle that doesn't fly.
Not much of a beetle.
Yeah. Mhm.
So that's my concern is am I actually going to be able to use my shapeshift to sneak in and hide and find the person and get out?
Mhm.
I don't know.
It's
So
a
I
lot
can
because
do it
you've got
twice
you've
for an
got 2
hour.
hours of it, right? So you get 2 hours worth of it. Because I do believe it says you can just burn the second use to stay.
I think so, yeah.
Which is nice. You don't have to shift back briefly, tip a table over, and then shift back again.
I mean, you don't have to get the sister out now. If we can establish that she's there and maybe learn more, then that's a good start.
Yeah, because he didn't seem to have an exit plan, did he?
No.
His plan was basically Lancelot his way in, hoping
Mhm.
that the wedding guests would distract, and
I think
that's where his plan ended.
the concern I have is that he seems very headstrong about it, and I
Mhm.
think there's a high chance he's convinced himself it has to be tonight, and he's basically going to do it regardless of what we say.
Yeah. See, I feel we haven't really discussed Stolbard.
Okay.
I'm pondering if he's a good way in and out of the property.
Okay.
Do we
I'm
really
not-
want anyone to know that we were even in the area?
Oh no!
Like, if we have this link to people and something happens,
Hmm.
that even if we're not directly seen doing something, it's known that we're in the area.
Yeah, people will ask questions.
So like we would need to have a really good alibi for
Mhm.
why we were there and why it's completely irrespective of anything else that happened to go on in that.
Sorry about that. Someone was at my door.
Okay, welcome back.
Way isn't everyone at a door.
Any of our magic users have greater restoration?
Sorry, any of us in the party, you're all magic users.
I'm talking about the real life magic users among
Oh.
us.
Okay, yes, okay. I just didn't like being called out alone. Okay. Um, I don't
I mean,
know.
when it comes to alibis, I'm suddenly picturing Xerxes doing a Home Alone where he's up on the stage as himself, then he's suddenly in the audience as me, then he's over at the bar.
Just everyone.
He's everyone establishing our alibi.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, but
Mhm.
I mean,
All right, this is what we do. We
Yeah,
kill
okay.
John Gate,
Yeah.
and I become him. I just take him over.
mhm.
Another
Okay.
Right. Yep.
I don't know what the rest of the plan is, but that's
Is that your contribution?
that's-
Right. So let's do it. Right. So you type in. Right. So here's a guess. What's it called? Plan 4. Right.
yeah.
Plan 4. Right. Type your part. Right. So your part of the plan is kill John Gateman. Everybody's going to add a part of the plan. So what's next? What's the next step of the plan?
I don't like that starting.
Doesn't
place,
matter.
but
This is a new way to design plans, right? So we're just
Okay.
trying it, right? We're just trying this new way of designing a plan. Yeah.
we kill innocent John Gateman, but he
No,
has
it's
a
fine. That
henchman.
part's been done. You need a different part. What's part 2? Once he has been killed and taken over by Xerxes, what's the next part?
Xerxes guards the main gate.
Right.
That's as far as I can go.
That's not a plan. It's a statement.
I mean, after he becomes Gateman, he can let us in and
Right.
out.
Type it in. There we go. Type it in. Go for it, Gregor. Type that in as next step.
No.
Yep.
Because I don't do anything else. This is his plan.
Nope. Don't worry about it. Alexander, get thinking.
Our plan.
You're up next. So you've now got into the estate grounds.
In and out. Technically.
It's very brave, that last part, but yeah, we'll see. It's a lot missing between that and, isn't there? Like the plan.
It's there.
Is there though? Yeah. I'm enjoying this. This is just absolute nonsense. Like,
I have another plan.
it's okay. We'll get to that. I'm enjoying this new experimental way of building a plan. So,
Oh,
talk
no.
us through it, Alex.
So I think we try and establish likely places that if they were keeping her, that would be. So
One thing yeah.
and try and get there.
Yeah, so basically like recon, basically. Okay, how are you doing the recon? What's the?
So no, I was actually just saying more just using the map. So we with the basic layout that Fleabite can remember, augmenting whatever the maps can tell us.
So-
You think okay, likely in like maybe a bedroom, some of the bedrooms, maybe in like I don't know if there's a dungeon, probably, various storerooms, and we check the most likely places first.
Right. So this is after we're in the gate.
No. Once Cantor gets back with his map.
No, but keep in mind, this is plan 4. Step 1: kill and become John Gateman. Then get in.
If that's how we're starting, then
Yep.
that's how I would continue.
Okay.
Okay.
So your plan is then, once you get there, recon where they could be.
No, I'm
That's
saying we just go there. We search those
No,
places straight away.
you don't seem to be following this new method. These are the steps of the plan in order. This is what we're doing. This is the new experimental way to design it. So it's
Yeah,
step 1, kill and
that's
become
my
them.
suggestion.
Step
That
2,
part
get
of
in.
the-
Step 3, what do you do when you're in? So your plan
So-
is go all the way back, look over maps, and then
He's
that'd be
fine,
that.
sister.
So you don't seem to be on the same page as me, Alexander.
Definitely not.
Nope.
No.
So once you're in, right? What's the plan when you get in? Doesn't need to be a good
Most
plan.
likely places. Start looking.
Oh.
Yep. Cool. It's pretty much what you typed anyway. So, once you have looked at most likely places, if you find her or don't, what's the plan? Danger. It's the last step in this journey.
Kill everyone.
Throw her out the window.
Okay. Or
Just rescue her. Just take her out.
Okay, this makes no sense to me. Like, we're just gonna walk in. We're just gonna walk in.
No,
Yep.
we've got Gateman on the gate, so you know we're.
Right.
we're...
We've got the
And
gate, yeah. He won't be the only person in the building.
What?
So
Kill all
none
the
of this
guards.
makes any sense to me.
so.
Y'all done.
So my new plan, if I can,
I mean, yeah, because this one seems to have died, and that was the point. Like,
if
these are terrible ideas. That's all I'm gonna say. They're terrible. Like, you have so much at your disposal as a group of completely crazy spellcasters. I know you
Spider
don't have
does
Sky,
a
right?
profile.
what
There's-
if,
My lack of scholar at Skyrim.
what if we were to invite Stobart out again?
Right. So, what
Ask
makes
him-
you think he'll be free on the night they're doing massive staff changes? And he's head of staff.
Oh, he is head of staff. Damn
Yes.
it. See, I was. Damn it. Never mind.
Right?
The change of staff. It's the new staff. Never mind.
Alright, so we kill stuff.
No.
Why is your plans kill this person? Why is that the plan?
College whispers, I want a shade. A shadow.
Maybe you should have went to the cave of combat the first time round, where you had a
I wasn't
chance
level
to kill.
6.
Oh, okay. Arguably, it would have helped propel you to level 6 quicker. But yeah, so what is the plan? I don't seem like I just feel like we've not covered that yet. I feel like
So if we're determined that we're going to go in, I think I've my ability to turn into a spider to scout it, find her, and therefore find the path of least resistance.
Hmm.
I think would definitely require a distraction. That would.
I feel as a dare, I should keep my previous engagement with Lady Thaki,
Of course.
simply because I believe she can be valuable to everyone. Not necessarily in get like helping Cantor out, but I do believe that keeping that date is important,
Mm-hmm.
but it does kind of coincide timeline with you guys going in, unless we can convince Cantor to not go in tonight. Hold off until we have a formulated, a proper plan, because we are kind of all over the shop, and we haven't even
Mhm.
seen the blueprints yet.
You just want to go on your date.
I think you should,
Yeah.
you should go on your date. But I do think tonight is our best, is a good chance
With
to
the
do something.
hmm
Agreed.
Whether it's the full plan or not, but we should do something with the estate tonight.
Well, if Adair goes with Lady Thacky, and you guys go with Cantor, would that work for you guys?
Sure.
I think so.
Set it out.
Okay.
Okay.
So once Cantor comes back with his rudimentary maps, we can have a better idea, because I do have like information on the, I'm going to call it a chateau. I don't know, villa, whatever. The estate.
It's the estate. Yeah.
I like fancy words. Okay. Once Cantor gets back with the maps, we can go through what he has detailed and whatnot. We can try and calculate that for you guys. If Cantor is still up for going in tonight with the staff change, which is best, I can still use, like, if need be, my disguise kit to disguise him.
Mhm.
And then you guys can help him there and keep him in the right. As in, time to run. Don't be silly, kind of stuff.
Mm.
Yeah?
So, based on your assessment of Cantor so far, do you think if he's had to abort the plan mid-plan, he's going to do it?
No.
Mm. So is taking him a good part of the plan?
Again, probably not. If we can find a way to keep him on the back burner, like not give away himself, because he does realize the importance of secrecy. That's why he's going under
Or in
false.
Kente?
Yeah. So he gets it. Now, he does believe his sister's there, but without a proper recce on the situation, which we can provide for him, I think he'd be willing to take a side step, like sit and wait. It's not like the wedding's tomorrow or tonight. So, yeah, he's a reasonable man.
Is there any contradictions or amendments or additionals there, Alexander?
He's a useful guy if things do go pear-shaped.
Mhm.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad for him to be there, I don't think.
Okay.
Depending on what our actual plan is.
Yes. Yes.
But it might, if he can be the reserve so that he can come in to help if things go wrong.
Mhm.
And that way we don't have his liabilities, but we have him near enough that we can draw on him.
Oh, God. We're going to kill Gateman and make him Gateman instead of Xarxus.
That would work too.
Do we have to? And I'm just saying, this is perhaps an alignment thing. Do we have to do a murder?
No. I would
He's a
say,
pretty neutral guy, but he's not neutral evil.
Fleabite, do you have anything like flares or anything in the mass stuff you've gathered?
I was thinking we do have time to prepare. We can acquire other things before we start this.
So something to signal him if you need it.
Mhm.
Like Skywrite.
If only.
We're indoors, he wins.
I did want to also ask. I know there's rules about how many times you can take a rest. I presume there isn't time for a rest before we go in. This is going to be like probably an all-nighter type thing.
There is. You've already had a long rest for this period of 24 hours. Yes. So you wouldn't get the benefits of a second long rest, but you still can take 8 hours to do something. You probably do have about 8 hours before something needs to happen anyway, so yeah. Obviously, I don't intend to quote myself on that later, but 8 hours is enough to get a lot of shit done. Let's see. So I forgot. So the stages so far: get everybody in who needs to get in. That's problem one. recon for sister, talk to sister, and I kind of wrapped in rescue sister with talk to sister because that's the part where you find out what her opinion of any of this is. Then it's get everyone out who needs to get out. So that's why I skipped the rescue sister part because it's kind of wrapped up in those bits. So,
but the talk to sister is a lot easier if we have brother on.
correct, you're not just a bunch of randoms. But then
Well,
arguably
Xarxes
Xarxes could look like the, I know.
Suddenly disguise himself. Oh,
Yeah,
my.
but that's still like when she's like, "Oh, let's do our secret handshake that we always do every time we meet each other," and he's just standing there.
What are they? The Masons?
You know that our parents,
know that they're in a
were
cult.
supporting this, ... well, you don't know that they're in a cult. You know that he was sponsored by a cult and may have joined up for the, the free trial, which is a boat ride somewhere. But yeah, so there's those steps, right? That is the most basic steps I can think of, unless I've overcomplicated any of those. But
Oh,
right, so how do you do those? What is the plan to address those steps?
I mean, I guess would Xarxes be able to contact his employer, Theo, in regards to the staff that are being employed that are going in? Would, because he's like a man of the know of staff, would he have been reached out to? As in,
No, he hates my corporation now because we lost him the box. Not to mention, he hasn't contacted Theo because I'm Theo.
I know that, but in kind of
Yeah, in universe, yeah, sadly.
in that kind of universe, wouldn't Theo have at least known contacts of like his rivals of who supports staff kind of thing? Like, would Theo have had that information?
To what
of,
end?
this
What is the goal here? Is it to find out where the staff's coming from? Is that
Yeah.
it? So, but why? Why is that important? Tell me that part.
If they're trying to go in with the staff, best join them before they get to the household.
Okay, yeah, but then wouldn't you just
Does
join the
make
lines of
sense.
staff that go there towards the house?
It depends if the staff have been given anything.
Yeah, but why would that change anything? You just watch the people go in, then dress like them, right? And
Whether
you
it's
just magically
dress
can't
or-
dress people like them because Xarxes can just in a moment look like someone with magics, right? So,
I'm their uniform.
right?
Okay.
Like, so you don't really need that much prep time for some of that plan. So just literally turning up, hiding in the bush, watching a group of people go by and see if they look like they're wearing similar stuff, and then just match it and walk out whistling. You know, there you go.
Well, that works for Xarxes. What about Fleabite?
But do you need
and
more people than
Gateman?
one? You literally only want to confirm if she's there or not, ultimately, right? So that
Well-
you know if it's worth risking an assault.
I would suggest that if that is the case, then I would suggest probably don't get a person in when you could have someone become a spider and go in.
So I love that last week you were like, I don't think I should be involved in the infiltration. Now
Oh
this
no,
week it's...
I don't either. But if
Mhm.
we're going to do it,
Mhm.
and we need scouting done beforehand to actually confirm, and I think we do need
Mhm.
scouting done beforehand. The person who could get caught and people still not even notice that they'd caught him because people don't even register half the time when they pass by a spider.
Mhm.
That's probably a valuable person to have. Like, there are no stealth rolls when you're a small spider on a ceiling. People
I mean,
just
the
don't fucking see you because they're not looking up.
Wagner and Xarxes takes in the spider on him and then split up inside.
Yeah.
So this is just...
I mean, or you
is this
could
the
do
end
it
game
as
plot? Where like Tony and Ant-Man?
And then you crawl into Tony's house.
Spider Vanger could go there, like now
Yeah.
and
I could.
get that info ready in time for the evening, because that doesn't even require the people coming and going.
I absolutely could do that.
Remember
like to
the
see what
downside
map
is
he
the
has
estate
first.
is big, right? So
Yeah,
even
and
getting
I
from
only
the
have 2
gate,
hours as a spider.
yeah. So getting even from the gate to the actual estate itself is probably like maybe 20 minutes, right? Like it's huge.
Fortunately, spiders aren't that much slower than
No,
horses.
spiders are pretty decent actually speed-wise, like considering the size they are in, because they obviously clearly scuttle very fast.
I mean, to be fair, I've
Mhm.
seen some fast
Oh,
spiders
yeah.
in my time.
I think
Yeah.
the problem is we've all not seen fast spiders more often than we'd like to admit. When we look twice and go, where'd it go? But yeah. So okay, right? We could have Spider of Anger, right? That's the thing. And he could go scout out regardless of Warren's plans. But how he's going to stop Warren going in tonight?
By the way, I also have invisibility, just as another asset.
I mean, to stop him going in, he's a reasonable fellow. I think he's just been here enough days where he's like, right, that's what I need to do. And
Because he's also got a
feels-
week to do this, right? Before the wedding.
and he's wise enough to reach out to us, and
Mhm.
we are wise enough to show him the way. If we have a proper formulated plan, we can convince him, or we knock him out.
Okay. So,
I mean, we've already ordered 2 bottles.
so is it
of
replace
fancy-
Warren Canty with John Gateman now? Is that the plan?
No. Just if he insists on going, then we'll say, nah, pal, and get him drunk and make him fall asleep.
Okay. So does anybody need to
just
go off and do anything to acquire things that they want for their plan? Or
Well, I
are we
bel-
waiting on him coming back first?
Waiting on him coming back first so as we can see these maps.
Right.
Because
Okay.
once we see the maps, we'll have an even better idea of what the situation is, like
Okay.
internally.
Well, my first question would be, regardless of what the situation is, do you plan on, like, what, climbing a wall or going through the front gate?
As a
I feel like that varies on which of us.
yeah, go.
Mhm.
Very much.
Because I was going to say I'm not going by the sounds of it.
Mhm.
I'm going to keep my appointment with Lady Thaki. So,
But it does mean you still have about 8 hours you could go buy stuff for people, right?
oh
And
yeah,
help out on
absolutely.
the collection of
But I
stuff.
believe, I mean, he's only just nipped away to get the maps and come back, which is what, half an hour to an hour.
You don't know where he's staying.
I would have thought he'd have mentioned if he's going to be a couple of like 5 hours.
He's maybe got a lot going on upstairs right now. No? Maybe he's not thinking clearly, and then you got him wrapped up in the Thaki love triangle. So, yeah.
Oh, crappy.
Hmm. Yep.
I mean, I guess if he doesn't return in like an hour, we start doing
Yeah,
stuff.
okay.
with him.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
what was that for? What was this?
But that's the time, it feels like.
Well, what would you want to be doing? Because Fleetwood could arguably just go and do something within an hour if you were.
Like, Fleabite definitely wants to see the maps,
Okay.
but would also like to acquire some things
Okay.
that's likely acquirable in.
Okay.
Cats.
So yeah, I think we are probably talking about an hour before we'll get back to you. So an hour does go past, and yeah, he does come back. A bunch of scroll cases under one arm and a bottle of wine in the other. And he
There
walks
we-
in and he's like, your charming host said this was paid for? And he kind of looks confused.
Oh, so is, she is letting you back in. She is a nice lady, but a bit on the strict side. But we can also have these while we discuss the plans, and look at map.
And he kind of like nods and goes, I feel like I may abstain for now to keep a clear head given the situation this evening. And he does sound a bit out of breath. And,
Oh, please, have seat.
and yeah, so he lays out drawings, and they're very crude drawings of like a big estate building, as if almost like it goes back to like planning permission days, if you will, like where they're going to build, what they're going to build, foundation work, the idea of it pouring into like nearby rivers, for its own sewage, etc. Various things that would make sense on engineering plans for a huge estate to be constructed. Yeah.
So Adair's first question would be, Cantor, you have had time to look over these maps, and you've even made duplicates. It's a good job. What are you thinking? Do you see like hidden passages or anything standing out to you that seems strange? Or what do you think?
And he kind of just does that thing where he kind of like puts a hand on your shoulder and like gives it a wee grip. And he nods and he says, "Thank you. I mostly I am relying on my guile here, but I feel like I could scale this wall." And he taps the east side of the estate. And he says, "I feel like I could scale this wall, and luckily there is this this rather robust tree. This is there now, and obviously for Fleabite, this checks out. You have climbed this tree. It's a very large tree, the east side of the estate that you jumped over the wall for. The wall jump was probably not graceful, and you possibly can't scale this wall without assistance because it's a wall designed not to be scaled. But we'll see." And then he goes, "So I feel like if I can get myself in this way,
Would it be a case of grappling hooks kind of thing, or?
I mean, you sound like you're asking me, the GM.
Well, I'm asking the informer. So yeah, okay. Adair would ask.
Like the random
Cantor.
newspaper, the informer. Like what?
Do you believe you can scale a wall with a grapple hook?
And he kind of nods and he goes, I may require the assistance of such a device, yes. I just feel like the purchase of one so close to the act may be suspicious. I was perhaps going to cobble something together with old horseshoes." He kind of just nods vaguely at you.
So you're wanting to go in tonight with the horseshoe?
Yeah, he goes, "I hear they're lucky."
Please, continue with plan. As Adair looks to the others like,
oh dear, yeah. Yeah, no wonder he didn't want to drink that second bottle. And he says, "Right, once I'm over this wall, it at least provides me with some way out. Also, I feel like it may be difficult to scale it with my sister in tow, but I'm sure between the two of us can manage. And as I said, if you're able to assist in any kind of way, I know you are very skilled." And he kind of nods at like the people he has seen the skills of. Sadly, he doesn't know what you're capable of, Xarxes, other than what they've mentioned. And given that he knows what they can do, he's making some assumptions that you're clearly going to be capable if you're with them. That is the assumptions he's making behind the scenes. And he's let's see. And from what I gather, this side of the estate is far away from where the staff would be staying. This seems to be more where the family bedrooms would be. Thus, it may be under more guard internally rather than externally, whereas the entrance to the estate itself, where the staff will be coming in, will have the most external guard. I imagine the front gate is a write-off, personally, given how many people will be coming and going. Yes. He kind of like nods as if almost convincing himself. Yeah, that makes sense. He taps like these places out on the map in front of you. He says, "If I can get into one of the bedrooms, again, then I will hopefully a broken window won't raise too much suspicion, noise-wise, with a lot going on at the other side of the estate. I imagine Lord and Lady Tanan might be rather busy with their staff." And he's saying that like he's implying that maybe when there's lots of staff changes, they're a bit in your face, hands-on in particular, right? Like involved and annoying, I think is really what that translates as. So he's like, yes, I think if I do attract the attention of any of the internal guards, I'm sure I can subdue one or two before anything got out of hand. He kind of nods like to the people that have seen him in combat. But any more, and I would definitely appreciate support. The stealthier and bloodless, the most bloodless way possible would be my preference. I do not look to end these people's lives. I merely wish to recover my sisters.
You are a noble man who has the right thing in mind, but I do question if tonight is the right night to go in by yourself.
This is why I'm here.
Perhaps.
And he looks at everybody like almost hopeful.
We have, whilst you are retrieving map, we have been discussing. We know you have an in-way deadline of finding sister before a wedding. But tonight is not that night of the wedding. But tonight might be a night of infiltration on the subtlety.
I may be able to. I may be able to assist in locating and confirming presence before we do anything more drastic.
She's definitely inside. I have confirmed this. And again nods to you like as if, well, we've covered that. And then he turns back to you, Adair, and he says, my host is... And he kind of like, he pauses a bit and he goes, tonight is the most suitable night for me to do this with the least heads turning. My host is out for the evening, and I am freer to move around unnoticed. He kind of nods. He turns back to you, Vanguard, and he says, I do appreciate the time and the assistance offered, but she is inside, and it needs to be tonight. He definitely seems like conviction. That was the word earlier I was looking for.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
We
conviction
still
about
need
this.
to locate her within the building then.
And he kind of chuckles and he goes, I have a feeling I'll find my way to her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you have. But yeah.
I think Fleabite would come forward at that, and he's been quite quiet for most of this. I think hearing that would be enough to rouse a bit of action, and he would get a bit closer to Canty and say, on sneak into infiltration night, we must know all facts and information resource. If you have way of locate, find, then other man thing, we must know. Yes.
He kind of nods and he goes, I do have another idea that I don't think you'll like. And he's looking straight at you, Fleabite.
That was not question. Yes.
He goes, and he kind of like, he turns like, and kind of like does that thing where he rubs his hand through his head and like his hair, and then he doesn't clip through his head. He rubs his hand through his hair, and he turns around and goes, he like rolls up his sleeve and like undoes his bracer, and on his arm he's got like a kind of almost like a dull copper like bracelet, like kind of like a solid bangle sort of be like around his arm, and like just under his wrist. And he says, me and my sister wear these. And he looks like quite defensive about the thing. And he says,
What certain you are that she still wear it? Yes.
this lets me know that she is inside. And still draws breath. I can say this with confidence. A gift from our former, long since dead parents, basically. Not former, that's a weird statement.
Late is the word you're
Late,
looking for.
yes. He's a bit drunk and obviously a bit panicked, and you're telling him, wait, yeah, late. Formerly living, yes. Yes.
You knew in the grave could not who.
And then he quickly does up his bracer and stuff again. And he says, I have had the finest of blacksmiths in my employ attempt to remove them in the past. Folly, you could say. And then he, quickly buckles over half the scars on his wrist. Would clearly show that people have had a good try at taking this bracer off, or this bracelet. He buckles up the bracer over the top of it again, pulls his sleeve back down.
Certainly is inside then, but
I mean, Adair would quickly ask, why try and take it off? Or why try and remove it when it connects you to your sister?
And he looks at you and he says, in our youths, our movements being tracked was not something either of us were eager to have. And he kind of like chuckles a little bit, as if remembering.
Teenagers, I get you. Teenagers, you crazy little rascals.
He just looks at you like, okay. And then he turns back to Fleabite and he says, the alternative plan, however, young Master Fleabite. And he just looks at you kind of almost pleadingly. I am aware that Lady Glint has a fondness for exotic pets.
Uh-oh.
this is where your wolves would come in handy.
Cock's head.
Yeah. And I feel like someone of your unique caliber would be able to be gifted. I could walk in the front door, in fact, I believe, with you. If you were willing to support the ruse. And then he just kind of looks eagerly at you.
The man thing with wild eyes, yes.
He kind of just nods.
Pet owner. That man thing has acquainted, yes. And I think Fleabite would take out the belt, show it to
Oh, like the kind of broken collar? Yeah.
Collar, yeah.
And he goes, thus we could get in swifter with less questions now. And he kind of like holds, like kind of looks over in his hands and goes, if you're an escapee, you should be eager for your return.
Escapee, yes. But it raises protection notice, maybe. The belt collar ring, it made escape difficult, yes. There may be more protective measures around estate nest that must be considered, yes.
He kind of nods sagely at that, because it does make sense, right? You know, you step in a landmine, you know, and he kind of hands you the collar back, or the parts of it you got, and he says, well, those are my plans. And he looks at you guys.
I could help plan a route once inside. I'm not much use in terms of your skullduggery, but what I can do is utilize some of the old ways to change my form into something more subtle.
Kind of like starts
I don't know.
nodding, like he's like, oh, like, you know, please tell me more
Very
about the old ways. Yeah.
And this might allow me to navigate a path through the main house and, with any luck, out. And whether or not I'll be any assistance actually getting you in and out, but I can certainly give you a path.
And he says, alas, a path is not the most difficult stage of this for me. He kind of like rubs the bracer again. Because it's merely the currents against me going in and out. And he kind of like nods.
If we can get a way in, I can cast invisibility on your sister as an easy way to escort her out.
What if she wear collar of find, yes.
And he kind of looks at you like he acknowledges that you've said that, Darkness, but then looks at Fleabite to like, what?
And Fleabite indicates at the collar.
But whether or not she's wearing the collar, is that what you're saying?
If she's wearing a collar, invisibility might not really work.
If they have taken
And he
it,
goes, and he,
willingly, they may well have done something.
well, he looks at you and he goes, like, to reply to that, he goes, oh, you freed yourself of this? How did you do it?
great difficulty, yes, may not be able to repeat such grand feats, yes.
And he gets down on his knees and he can hold your hands that are holding the collar out in front of you, and he says, "But you'd be willing to try for me, right? What would you ask of me in return?"
Try once, maybe yes. Try twice, maybe not.
And he's like,
If I
Name-
am to be
name-
also collared, yes.
"Name the price. Ask of me anything." So this guy's basically pleading with Sleep right now.
Bridges will be burnt when bridges are reached, yes.
And he kind of
It's not usually how that. Never mind.
I don't know if Canty gets that, I'll be honest. I think he's just kind of looking at you like, what can I possibly offer you, right? That's mostly what he's trying to do. And he says, "Help me build a bridge tonight then. Will you do that?"
My rat paw assistants.
And he kind of nods at that. And then does this thing where he obviously is a lot fitter than I am, so it doesn't take as long to get back up on his 2 feet. And then he says, "So tonight," and then, with Fleabite's hand in, he puts his hand on Fleabite's hand, and then there's almost an all-for-one moment coming up, guys. So
Well, I was actually going to say before that, we haven't examined these maps properly because me and Fleabite know the routes, don't we? Roughly.
well, you have a
Or-
nat 20 to cash in for something useful, right?
And if I'm not going there, then I feel like I should give that to the group in a way. Or
Yeah, I would
Fleabite.
say if you don't mention it now, it's not getting used, right?
Yeah.
You can't just hand them a nat 20 in the narrative.
Says.
I wrote your note, and whatever it says is useful to you when you read it.
Here's a net 20, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, what do you want to make that easier then, right? What would you have noticed about the estate that would make this plan easier?
Oh, I mean, based on
You don't need to come up with it yourself. Literally anybody here can suggest it, because you just have to agree
Well,
to
you've
use
got
it.
a map in front of you, and you got
Yeah.
a 20 for an observation about the state. How about you noticed an entry that wasn't on the original plans?
Sure. Like an entry point or a weak point or a something along those lines.
Yeah, so
Gun.
a gun. Who knew this cannon pointed at this weak part of the wall was here, and the wall's painted a slightly different colour than the rest of it?
It's like
What?
a red circle with a cross in it, and look at that.
So yeah, I think maybe that's the last shot then, as you're looking at the maps, as Fleabite and Cantor seem to be doing an all for themselves moment, and you can maybe just point to a part going, "What is this?" On the map, and it is like,
Hey,
let's say
guys,
it's like maybe an old staff entrance, right? There we go. Somebody should write that down before we all forget that was a thing I stated. So yeah,
Staff entrance or old staff entrance.
yeah, that isn't on any of the newer blueprints. It's on the old ones.
Hmm.
Or like the original, like the proposed ones, not necessarily the completed ones.
Like an old sewer entrance or just an old entrance?
That is an old staff entrance, right? One that was planned to go into maybe the basement or something, but then it doesn't ever make it onto the final design. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they probably, So the foundations are.
How
weak
you
there.
noticed this from the estate? Who the fuck knows? But that'll do, right? Good enough. That's
So
what the
they're
power
doing
of
their
control-
all for one moment. I'm like, hey, look, old staff entrance.
Maybe you're all better now that you've cashed in that nat 20 you've been holding on to this entire time. Maybe now that you've released that,
Oh, my rolls get better.
yeah, right.
I mean, I only rolled last night, and they're pretty decent.
It's alright, yeah. Right, okay. So, what do you want to tell everybody? And the voice is the last thing that's in the game for tonight.
Hey, have you noticed this staff entrance here? What was this? Like on blueprint of the old. Look here. As I'm pointing, and they're doing their all for one moment.
Yeah, and then the camera angle is just from the map, looking up at everybody, leaning into the shot, looking down on the map, and then we can end there. Everybody goes, huh. It's almost a very Buffy way of ending an episode.
Yeah,
And,
that is nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, so there we go. What are we calling this session?
Look here.
I mean, yeah, valid. Type it in.
Typing.
Mm-hmm. Kill John Gateman.
Actually,
Surely it's
I
John
cannot-
Gateman must die. Surely that's it.
I mean, I'm voting for that. I'm not even typing. I'm
What's
just.
that one book? John dies at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it.
John Gateman must die. I like that.
So dumb, but yeah.
I remove. And vote for.
Wow.
Mine was an
I-
inspired by, of course. It was an inspired by, not an ode, betrayal. Oh dear. I don't know. I did also really enjoy Look Here. I thought that was quite good. A New Hope. Yep.
I'm not seriously suggesting that. I'm taking it away.
Hello there.
Oh no, in future I may.
Yeah, it's almost like we need to break into the Death Star to rescue Princess Leia.
Yes, it's exactly like that.
Laughs and
Everything.
inspiration.
Half you guys get to play the Star Wars game. I don't have time for that. Shut up.
By half of us.
Wow.
Do you mean Colin? Like,
Well,
yeah, if you're talking about who pulls their weight in this game, then of course you mean like 7/10 of the party, right? I say with zero statistics to back this up, by the way. So, yeah, I think with an astounding 2 votes, John Gateman must die. Is I guess the name of this session. Yep. I feel like it's going to disappoint us if we ever look back in the game and go, "What was that episode about?" And go, "Oh,
Just that guy,
yep, poor John
John.
Gateman."
Gateman,
Okay,
who didn't
goals. Any complete?
die. Yet. Yet. Nope, definitely not.
Okay.
Not really.
So, any to update, delete, change, and/or tweak?
I feel like Zarsis should do something with his child. Like, at least get her a cloak or something. Come on, man.
Problem is that you would need to tell him about that exchange for him to know
True.
that.
Suddenly feels the need to buy her a cloak.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
we could put
Send the
in-
child in.
Keep can
You leave Falcon out of this, you sons of bitches.
What was that, Vanger?
something like keep Cantor alive, get Cantor in and out of the estate safely, because it might turn out that he's wrong and our bracelet has somehow magically been taken off
By a bat
Right.
somewhere. And it's
by
off.
by
Yeah.
some sort of horse, by a
Mhm.
bat, by 3 children in hats, whatever. It could have happened somehow, and he just isn't aware of it because he's never encountered anything like that before, right? It's always worked before, so he thinks it's working now. We go in, aha! I see you fallen into a trap. Whatever. The objective would then just be get him safely out and also get ourselves safely out, but that's sort of implied.
Mhm.
Not die isn't an objective, but protect an NPC could be.
Yeah, like anything that involves a very quantifiable conclusion that is get, Cantor in and out with, no fuck up, right? No, because you don't want to say no instant, because obviously if you have to kill a guard and bury the body, so be it, right? If it gets you in and out. But at the same time, you want to avoid as much of an instant as possible. So if you want to do that, then that could be a goal, yeah. Pop it in. But I do feel like if you don't come up with a plan, he's probably going to go himself. I think you know this.
Yeah.
I think Alexander kind of clicked on maybe quicker than everybody else why tonight's doubly important.
Well, there's something going on with the host there, which
Mm.
it's probably the Watchers, I think,
Mm.
who are probably up to technology also.
I don't think that's what Alexander thought, but
Okay.
What did
It's
Alexander?
Gilman!
Well,
Is Alexander allowed to tell us?
I'm going to ask Ryan later. So
He's
that
gonna wolf out and eat the entire household.
That way I can, if I'm right, then I can be smug when it happens, and if I'm wrong, then I don't look too stupid.
Yeah, okay.
Tell us.
Well, that's no fun.
Yeah, so what's the... I don't see any goals changing at the moment.
I'm,
so,
I'm gonna. Can I temporarily move the enlist Ucher to another to the?
That's a good one.
ending?
Yeah, shift it, yep.
Right.
Arguably, all of the things about the box and the cave, if you aren't doing that, right? Immediately.
Sure, but I think that one sort of comes after that. Like
Mm.
we do this tonight, and then I think we go for the box. That's. I think we've got it. Anyway, keep Cantor Warren
Safe.
alive. During Sister Heist.
Sure, yeah, good enough. Yep. I will also accept it if he dies and you res him, and he still makes it out. That's fine. I'll go on
Cool.
record and say that too. I guess it's because the keeping him alive is a bit harsh, but if you can get him in and out alive, that's good enough, right?
Long alive at some point.
Yeah.
Turn him into a bitch.
If only you still had those bits of bat, you could have dressed him up as a bat. Or built him a glider.
So I will be 100% honest. The entire reason I wanted to get all that bat wing was to maybe one day use it as a glider. So sad.
Just go find more bat bits. The cave was
Yeah.
full of them.
There's a cave, yeah.
I'm going to need to replenish my supply of meat shield for
Hmm.
another expedition.
Flee about on the street. Any adventurers wish to come and defend me and die in my... I mean, work in my honour? I have lots of bags of silver I can summon.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah.
I changed my personal goal.
Okay.
That's worse than it was before, so I just put it back, or...
It depends. What would you like the potion to do? Or poison?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's dependent on what I can do.
The problem is, though, making it, and then for the heist, if it doesn't get used in the heist, then do I take the gold back from you? Right? I feel like equip appropriately is also a bit vague. Leave it in. We'll see what happens.
Bring a torch for arson purposes, just in case it all goes to shit.
Yeah, because we know how bad you are at starting fires, so it's probably good to bring a lot of additional help for that.
Feelings.
Rollings. Right, okay. Anything else changing, or is this everything? So we've got the connection to the box and the noble houses. We've got recovering the box from the cave, rescue Sarah if she wants, which is tied into the, the heist mission. And then we've got make a potion or poison for the heist, so a heist-related paraphernalia. And then we also have convinced Lady Taki to help with the rescue of Sarah. So you still doing that there?
Yeah. Well, try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
Cool.
you never know. We could meet up for a date, and she suddenly says, "By the way, I want your help to do this," and I'm like,
Yeah, she like pulls up her dress, pulls out her hand crossbow, hands you her other hand crossbow that you don't know where it came from, and then off you
Grapple
go. Yeah, yeah,
all the,
right.
yeah. You never
Yeah.
know.
Puts on her
Right,
two 9mm on her hip holsters. Yep.
You told me she looks like Eva Green, and that's the kind of thing she'd do.
Fair. I'm a time traveling paradox character from copyright infringement.
Hi, have you met my friend Tim Burton?
Yeah.
He's directing this.
Yep. To be fair, I feel like Glint would
Direct films.
a young Helena Bonham Carter could easily have played Glint. Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. There we go. Cast that. The problem is, it just means I feel like Johnny Depp would be playing Conan, but he isn't in this one. But he probably would be in the Tim Burton version.
Definitely.
But yes, so if that's all the goals done, yep, going once, twice, thrice, a lady, done. Okay, wrap up chat time. Do you want to start us off? Fleabite, the possibly traded in for the Wookiee plan.
Yeah, that was good. Glad to see Canty back.
Mhm.
And interested to see how this is gonna go.
Mm.
There's just so many ways it's gonna go wrong. But the final result, I sure will not. I have a surprising amount of confidence that we will have some sort of satisfactory resolution. Whether it's what we expect or not, I don't know. But for no reason, I have a good feeling about this.
Good. I'm pleased by that assessment.
Yeah. So I think the heist planning.
Mm.
The plan will present itself when we're there.
Yeah, that's how it happens usually.
Thank God I'm not there.
This is like a thing in heist films where the more of the plan you see, the less of it actually works.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's just the
when
entire
you don't
Blades in
know-
the Dark system is built this way, where you're at the heist and then you flash back to the plan you already made, obviously, to solve it. Mm-hmm.
I
Like-
would love to play that as like a Batman character who's just like the plan is always I literally have a tool that deals with this.
And I called it the bat, and then insert the
Yeah.
relevant situation. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, I brought my bat down.
I would like to play that game. I do not think I could run that game. Not well enough, personally.
Like
Not the
any
Batman game. I
video
mean the
game.
Blades in the Dark game. In fact, I have the book right next to me here that I'm not going to lift my cup off of for spillage
You've got
reasons.
a cup on a book.
No, I have a cup on top of a piece of a kitchen roll that is then on top of a book. Yes.
Oh god, that's so bad.
No, it's fine.
Why do you say these things to me, Ryan?
I can take a picture of it if you want and send it to
Please
you.
don't.
But anyway, so anything else to flip out?
Nope. Good fun. The insanity at the start. You feel like this is some sort of shared like hallucination where we all just lost our mind a bit for.
It's all going so smoothly. I don't know what you mean.
Yep. Can trace it back to when I said to Colin, "Sure, you can join the Wednesday game."
Oh, that's not fair.
It's okay.
Is it fair?
I'm gonna
You've been in
segue.
since the start. Is that true?
Oh wow. Are you saying I'm the common factor here? How dare you imply such things that might
No,
be
no,
true?
I've seen that to Alex.
Oh,
like,
good.
He's been around.
Yeah,
You
have a go at him. Yeah, perfect.
Two originals here. Is it my fault?
Two
Oh,
originals.
no answer.
Right, we'll segue into you, Colin. Why not? Give us the Vanger.
Hello. Yes. This is I. It was a bit of a it was a bit of a it was a bit of a fucked up session this time where we largely just shat in each other's ideas for a plan. And I'm not convinced we really came up with one.
Adair's going on a date. He's okay.
Yeah, you've just bailed out. That's fine.
The start
If
of
we
it was so
cancel
good
again,
when he was like,
it'll-
"So is everything okay if I just go on the date and yous do the risky thing?"
honestly, the blue man who can fly is probably not the one for the subtlety.
Exactly.
The guy that can fly over
At
the
least
wall.
I'm
yes.
short, you know. He and Fleabite are short. Fleabite's quite sly, you know.
Hmm.
Xarxus is obviously more than capable of being sly. I can turn into like something small and adorable to distract people if need be. You know, there are advantages to having Vanger around for it. Although, again, if it goes for longer than 2 hours, sorry, you've got a dwarf.
Can you turn into anything like some weird abomination of an animal?
No, it's somewhat
Needs to
like
be,
a-
it needs to be a beast. The beast subtype.
it also needs to be under, I can't remember what, but it needs
Yeah,
to be under
CR.
fair combat rating.
Mhm.
It can't fly or
Or swim.
swim. Was it
Yeah.
you were saying? So
Can
at
you
the
turn into a
moment,
flea bite?
How do you know Fleabite can't fly or swim?
not.
Eh?
I don't know what the
Uh,
equivalent of Fleabite would be.
Fleabite is not a beast, sadly. So,
Yeah,
Are you sure?
oh, I am.
but-
Yeah.
yeah,
Fleabite subtype is goblin. So,
of course.
according
So
to the original character sheet.
I could probably become like a badger or a dog, or I can definitely become a cat.
Can you become something super unique that would make one chick interested in you?
Well, didn't he just say spider earlier? Like, I felt that was a good shout.
Yeah,
So-
spider's handy,
I think
but
spiders
again, like, not that exciting, right? You know, you've got a lot
It's
of
the
exotic
climb speed
effects.
that helps it though, a lot.
Spiders are good, yeah. Like they run around.
Was there something in mind you had, Dylan, for a suggestion, or was it just curiosity?
Just potential like
Mhm.
planning.
I'm like-
I suppose like
'Cause,
the idea.
I mean, we could throw you in there instead of flea bite.
I'm not sure how that's better.
Can you
And
change
then-
it to a flea? I mean,
No, 'cause they
jump from
fly.
person
No,
to person?
too small.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, but a spider's okay?
Yeah, some spiders are at least somewhat large. All fleas are tiny.
Okay,
There needs to be
It's-
a
basically,
creature
yeah.
card for it, basically. Put it that way.
gotcha.
Yeah.
It needs to be large enough that it could conceivably stand as a single entity in D&D.
Mhm.
So a tiny spider, yet anything that hits it's going to kill it. But equally, it is sort of large enough that it's something you could potentially notice from across a room or what have you. But again, like they obviously have the advantage of you can just literally be out of line of sight as a spider in so many places that a larger animal would. Like a cat would be great because they're stealthy as hell, but
So a spider is
cat starts
challenge
running around
rating
the house,
0.
people notice it.
Just FYI. So
Sorry,
the-
what?
a spider is challenge rating 0, so he can
Yeah.
definitely pay that in his druid limitations. And
So's a cat.
arguably, if you rolled for its health, you might die. Because it's a d4 minus 1 if you rolled for its
Yeah.
health. So,
But health is always like a minimum of 1, isn't it?
well, yeah, sure. So yeah, basically, I also just don't roll for health unless I want to change something for a reason. Like if I thought it was recovering, maybe. If you did like a 2-stage combat, I would roll its health for the second encounter. I wouldn't. I never generally roll health. I just pick the health values I want based on its limitations. But yeah, because there's obviously 2 ways to get monster health.
There's more than one way to.
But like the stuff you can do to spider is pretty fun. Yeah, it's a fun build. It has a card.
Yeah, there are options.
Mhm.
I just don't see that like me going in as an exotic animal as being any better than.
Yeah, because
flea
imagine
bite
he was
doing it.
collared and the collar cancelled the magic and he just became a dwarf.
Yeah, that would be bad.
And then probably died
Oh.
because the collar would be round like a dog's neck and then it would go to dwarf neck and he would just choke to death.
Lovely. What I thought, like
Yeah.
David Carradine.
No. A lot less like that.
And yeah, so that was a fun mess.
Mm-hmm.
But I look forward to seeing exactly how we pull this fucking atrocity off. Not that
Well,
it's a
I'm on the
moral atrocity, unless she does want to marry him, in which case we're the kidnapper.
Mm.
True.
But then,
I mean, his plan is to, get her out of there. Whether or not she wants to come out is
Oh my
I'm just-
god!
ruin Tonan's day.
What if he's lying? What if it's really the Watchers Guild that wants him, and actually she's the slave?
I don't know what that is.
No, I
Yeah,
just added the word
like,
guild
yeah.
on to make a reference to Buffy.
and maybe he
Oh.
has maybe he's promised her to the Watchers, and that's why he's a bit upset. That,
Have you
know,
ever
to-
seen the film The House of the Dead? Anyway, sorry,
No,
I'm not
yes.
going to get sidetracked any
Mhm.
further. Yeah, that was weird. We went late because we started late because
I don't know if that's why we went
Star
late.
Wars.
I think it was just
Anyway.
weird. But yes, Adair.
Yeah, so tonight has been fun. I love planning stuff.
Mhm.
I'm glad Adair got out of the whole thing because of his day.
I love planning
planning.
stuff,
Keep
and I'm
doing
so happy that I didn't have to plan.
No, I'm glad we're kind of, I think our plan is going to work out ish. Once you're on site, shall we say, I think things are going to be better. Like planning can go so many thousand ways because everyone's got their own idea. You never know what's going to happen. Versus once they're actually there, I think it's going to be smoother than we actually think. Like, I think we're all thinking worst case scenario right now. But
Sorry, once we?
he still gets killed.
Once we're actually there, is that what you said?
No, they.
I definitely heard a week.
Adair knows fine well he's not going. He's got to
Some
impress
leader.
a lady.
This is some leader you're being, leading from the far rear.
That's what leaders do, isn't it?
Sure.
I mean, the greatest leaders never put themselves in danger. They go off and do that. Adair's going to go on a date, and he's got a hotel room sorted out. And yeah, cushy.
God, yeah. Okay, yep, that's fine. Yeah.
No.
No,
Of
it's fine. Xarxus? Xarxus?
See-
Just cut him off.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding on. Finish your thoughts, man.
You leave me at the bad place.
You took yourself to the bad place.
Well, that was easy to do.
Mhm.
When it comes to like this enterprise, I want to help them, and I've looked at the map, and hopefully, I'm going to actually be able to help them walk with the old servant entrance that isn't on modern ones. But when it comes down to meeting up with Lady Thaki, I'm hoping that I'm actually able to get help from her. So next week is the key. Like, will she actually give up information? Will she be able to help even them in their current situation?
Mm.
Comes down to next week, I'm afraid.
That's gonna be exciting. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not leaving them in it. They are comrades that Adair. Cheers.
Thankfully, the planning phase, which is the hard part, is now out of the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we done? I didn't really feel a successful conclusion out of that.
Mm.
I mean, it's like you plan.
We have more detail.
Fire alarm, run.
It just
Go.
means next week we start at 7 and don't talk about Star Wars for 2 hours.
That's the plan.
Oh wait,
That-
do we have to promise that or what?
No, like I'm ever gonna hold to that. But anyway, yes. Anything else in there?
No, that was me.
Okay. Xarxus?
It was good for the short little session we had.
Mhm.
The planning is difficult.
I don't
But
know if it's the planning that was difficult, I'll be honest. I think we, as a group, were difficult tonight.
yes, we are difficult.
I include myself in this. No shade. Omni shade.
I'm excited to see what happens, and I'll probably try to think about the plan over the week.
Mm-hmm.
If I come up with something, I'll let you guys know.
Please do.
TI chat is here for a reason. Please utilize it. Yes. It would be useful to.
That's a good shout.
Mhm.
I will hopefully have free time this week to do that. So yes.
Yes. Colin no longer has Facebook, so anything about the game should be redirected here and not the Facebook chat. Yes. Anything else, Arxis?
I mean, I feel like less time went on in the world than we actually played.
Probably.
I would say
I
like half an hour in real time.
Yeah, like I think more time went away in real time than actually happened in game, and we skipped an hour.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had that happen in a total RP session.
To be fair, there's a lot to make up for with the 8 sessions equals 1 day real time. Right, so there's a good precedent going in this game, and time doesn't matter. Oh dear. The thing is, though, time is quite precious in this particular arc because you have a week, and you are like basically.
We are doing a good job of wasting it away.
I mean, content is content.
No, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna fight
Whether
you.
or not if you have succeeded in the week-long mission is relevant to whether or not it's content, though. So yes, you may have wasted the progress of the mission, or not. We'll see. Come the wedding, when you're the bride, according to the current plans.
Bridesmaid.
Now is Xarxus thought about replacing?
Oh no, sorry, this is going to be the bride.
Sarah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I feel like if
I
you're
still love that.
yeah. Like the thing is though, to do that plan,
I can actually see this going down where Xarxus becomes Lady Bedlam. And
Lady
then-
Bedlam. That's a good name for her now. Yeah.
And then I make a new character. Like that is like, and then he just goes on.
She's just married now.
And then he, like a year down the line, he kills Tonin, and then
Imagine that.
works on his own little plan.
So, like, if you can convince the others, right? I mean, it's a plan.
I mean, it doesn't have to happen. I can totally see that.
It
like,
is
if I
healthy
really
to
wanted
know what
get
you're
rid of
open to, though.
I don't know. I think Adair's convinced already. So
I was gonna say, do you not like this character already? Is that what it is? Have you burnt too many bridges as the Dylan character collective?
No. I'm just waiting until I can actually start using my changeling power at full.
Nice. Yeah. Anything else, buddy?
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, yes, this was an interesting session, both in and out of game for reasons, and I'm really glad you didn't just say we can't help you, buddy, and then he went off to go cause disasters. That was nice so far. I know that we're still not exactly ruling that out yet, but I feel like that was a good acknowledgement of this guy probably shouldn't be left to do this himself. So that was,
Exactly.
that was nice.
Worst case scenario, if we don't like the plan we come up with, we knock him out and leave him in the hotel room.
Yeah.
I mean, Madam Evershade.
Still can't.
Madam Evershade. That'll do.
Emerald, that was it. I mean, I'm sure if we give her an unconscious male body, she'll take care of it.
I don't know what you're implying, or do I like this? How dare you?
I have gotten her enough business. She can get rid of one body for me.
And then she turns to Falcon and goes, "Looks like meat's back on the menu." So, anyway, on that note, thank you everybody for watching. Sorry in advance and in retrospect, and goodbye.
Adios.
Bye.